like to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone. Township of Old Bridge Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting, October 16th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of the meeting by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, the location, the agenda of this meeting, mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk. Mr. Hollihan, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Andrews? Here. Ms. Chevalier?
Here.
Mr. Rizzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde?
Here.
Mr. Singh is absent. Ms. Gomez?
Here.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Here. Before I start the meeting this evening, I'd like to make an announcement. It's with deep sadness that I inform you of the passing of the board's attorney, Mr. Jerry Dasty, Esquire. Mr. Dasty succumbed to injuries sustained in an automobile accident that occurred in early September. He passed away on October 6th. Mr. Dasty has served as counsel to the board beginning in 2025. He enjoyed a distinguished career of over 60 years. He was a founding partner in the firm of Dasty, McGuckin, McNichols, Connors, Anthony, and Buckley. He leaves behind his wife, Elizabeth, his 5 children, 7 grandchildren, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and further extended family members. On behalf of myself and the members of this board, we offer our sincere condolences to his family, to his friends, and of course to all the members and staff of his law firm. May Jerry rest in peace. Mr. Pat Varga will be of counsel to the board from the same firm. Mr. Varga.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
As we move on, I would remind everyone of two matters. One, we're being televised on the local cable channel, that's CATV 15. The meetings are played back sometimes during the week. Remember that if you're going to testify before the board tonight, you're going to have to speak into a microphone so their voices are picked up. Secondly, it's also simultaneously recorded on YouTube Live. You can actually see it live, and then you can look back at the meeting. You can find that under Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment, and they're usually posted up a few days after the meeting. As far as the time tonight, we did have some cancellations. I'm going to announce them before they come up, so in fairness, people are sitting here. But the board does end its meetings at 10 p.m., leaving a half hour in time for public opinion. Having said that, let me go through quickly before I call the board's vote for minutes, that on the agenda this evening, the following will not be heard. 03-2025Z, that's Prime Space Capital. It's location on 12 Pine Street. That was for a self-storage facility. Applicant is seeking bifurcated use variance to develop a proposed 3-story facility. That application has been adjourned. To the public hearing will be commenced on December 4th of this year. There will be no further notice. And what that means is if you were in the 200-foot zone, you got a letter in the mail that it was going to happen. Well, this meeting is going to continue to December 4th. And I always tell people, if you just simply go on the township website, look up the Zoning Board of Adjustment, our agenda is always posted there. So you can find out what is on and what is not. This was just canceled today, but it would have been on our agenda and probably by the end of the day was taken off. The second one is 41-2024Z. That's Zir Hussein. Physical location on that's 12 Yosemite Court in Old Bridge. That was for a 2-story addition and a deck. Applicant proposes 2-story addition to the rear of the existing home and a deck over an existing patio. This application has been adjourned to the public hearing on October 30th. That'll be our next meeting this month. There'll be no further notice on that as well. And I think that covers One other. The last one on the agenda tonight was 12-2025Z. It's TAR Properties. Physical location on that is 475 Marlborough Road. That was for a training facility and electronic vehicle repair. Applicant proposes minor site improvements, a permeable driveway connecting parking lot to the rear-facing bay door, change use to training facility as described above. The applicant has this application has been adjourned to the public hearing on December 4th without further notice. Once again, there'll be no further notice if you're in the 200-foot zone and you're here for that this evening. It will be on the agenda for December 4th. Please refer to the website, Zoning Board of Adjustment, and you'll see the agendas as they come up. That brings us, board members, to item 3 is the minutes this evening. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review. Absent any commentary.
The minutes and the resolution on for tonight, we're going to move to the next meeting.
I didn't put that here.
That's why I crossed.
I knew the resolution was off. I didn't know about the minutes.
Yeah, Maureen was out of the office today, so she didn't have a chance to.
All right, board members, well, the minutes and the resolution will be carried until the next meeting. At this point, I would ask Mr. Varga, would you swear in our professionals for this evening?
Certainly. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you, gentlemen.
This is Mr. Bernie Tetrault and Dan Hollahan from the zoning office. Venus Sawant, our planner, is running a little late. She will be here, and you can swear her in when she arrives.
Certainly.
All right, having said that, we have a couple C, design waiver and C applications to get through. This is 17-2025Z, Anthony Francanero. This is the R7 zone, block 26035, lot 117. Physical location is 49 2nd Street in Aldbridge. It's requiring a design waiver and C variance. Applicant proposes the installation of a rear yard paver patio, walkway, and driveway. The proposed improvements bring the total minimum landscape area ratio to 40.02% for 200 square foot, where a minimum of 45% is required.
All right, sir, before you begin, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
My name is Anthony Francanero, Francanero.
And you're the owner of the property? Yes, sir. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Francanero, when we have people that have minor issues in their homes versus big commercial entities, they usually represent themselves, and I'm sure you're doing that tonight. Well, to make it simple for you to understand, we want to know the who, what, why, and wheres. So you're going to tell us why you're here, why you're seeking a variance. Tell us what you did. You may have some questions for us. We may have some questions for you. We're going to turn to the township professional who's going to tell us why, in fact, you are here for that variance. Having said that, you may want to add more testimony. We may want to ask more questions. There'll come a point when you're finished testifying, I'm going to have to go to a public portion to see if there's anybody in favor or opposed to your application. When all that is done, I'm going to come back to you finally, and I'm going to say, would you like me to take a vote? If for any reason you think you didn't put enough on and you feel the board has had too many questions and you might not get it through tonight, you could ask me for a continuance. The board would probably entertain that, but it's up to a vote, okay? So that's pretty much how it goes, sir. Proceed at your own pace.
First, I want to thank everybody for their time and consideration, as well as Mr. Hollahan and Ms. Porcelli, who's been very helpful, as well as the rest of the staff. My condolences on the loss of your friend and attorney so tragically.
That's turn green.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Yeah, I'm seeking a variance for my home. I bought the home in the end of 2019. Ended up doing far more renovations than I expected to with the interior. It's all renovated. It's a small house, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I live there by myself. But the property was a disaster inside and out. The backyard was just an overgrown mess. The front yard as well. If you look at Bing Maps or old Google Maps, you'll see it's just, you can't even see the house. It's an overgrown mess of shrubs. I've done a lot of improvements. I have 2 vehicles. They're often parked on the street because I don't really have a proper driveway. There was an asphalt driveway, which I have a picture of. I don't think you're going to have it here. It's on my phone, and I emailed it to Ms. Porcelli, where there was an asphalt driveway with a 0-foot setback from the neighbor's property before. It's really the only proper place to put a driveway because my garage is in the back of the house. And although I don't pull into the garage very often, I really need to have access to that, as well as I have a small boat trailer. It's really a kayak, but it's large, and I don't want to keep it in the front. I'd like to be able to get it in the back. So I really need access back there, which I can get the truck back there, but it's landscape, and I really need to have hardscape there so I can get to it properly. I'm also concerned with the water drainage. I want to make sure that's going properly away from the house and not bothering the neighbors. There's a lot of advantages to it. It will make the neighborhood much more attractive. There are a lot of cars on the street in my neighborhood. There's a couple of multifamily homes nearby with multiple units with lots of cars in them. There's lots of garbage trucks going up and down the streets, and I'd really like to get my two vehicles off the street. As well as beautify the neighborhood. It'll be a nice driveway, do nice landscaping in front, and just be a great improvement. And I appreciate your consideration. I don't know what else I can add at the moment.
All right,
but
thank you.
that's
Let me
about
see
it.
if the board members have any questions of you first, and then I'll ask
Sure.
Mr. Holohan to comment on your variance.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Board members on my left?
No.
At this point?
Not at this time?
You also have a huge shed in the back, right?
I don't have a huge shed in the back. On the variance, or on the, not the variance, on the plan, on the
Survey.
the survey, thank you. When I moved in, it's listed as garage, so it's all one structure, but at some point, the previous owner, I don't know, it's old,
You have
added
the-
on
hold
to
on a
the.
second.
Yeah.
That's the wrong plan up there. That's Athens, 29.
This should be 49 Second
Yeah.
Street.
I was testing you all.
Okay, I got back at you, Dan.
So there is no, I don't have another shed in the back corner. The neighbor has one back there. The other neighbor has a shed. The other neighbor has a shed, but I don't have a shed in the backyard other than the garage, yeah.
Ladies on my right, Mrs. Andrews, anything?
That's correct.
That's already. I did visit your property. I mean, I saw from the street. I can see what you're trying to do to beautify the area there. All those lots typically in that South Old Bridge area are very small.
Right.
Well, the dimensions are there.
I think it's 50 by 100.
Yeah, and you have a little lot to work with, so.
Right.
Some of the homes have done nice alterations, and I kind of see where you're trying to go there as well.
Thank you.
I know you don't have a lot of space to work with. Mr. Holohan?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, so the applicant's here tonight seeking a C variance for, I was looking at the wrong one. All right, so we have the removal of the existing deck and the rear yard paver patio, which is 532 square feet, along with a 3.5-foot by 33-foot long walkway and a 24 by 30-foot wide driveway. The request tonight would be a design waiver for the driveway setback, which is 0 feet existing where 5 feet is required, as well as a deficiency in the minimum landscape area ratio, which is existing at 40.02%, where the minimum required is 45%. So it is the variance for the design waiver for the driveway, and then the C variance for the minimum landscape area.
The LAR is pre-existing?
No,
No, it's not?
no.
Okay.
The what? I'm sorry?
The landscape area ratio.
Okay. Right, that's
That's
correct.
due to the pavers then, right?
When I said, I believe the improvements were done already, correct?
No, the front, the only part that's done so far is the
patio?
front steps and walk in the same footprint that they were in before. I haven't done anything else yet except clean up the yard.
Is the patio existing or is it proposed?
It's proposed.
Okay.
There's a deck there, which needs to go. I have some water drainage issues underneath it and some grading issues, and it's rotting, and it would just be much nicer as a paver patio.
I have nothing further.
Okay. Counselor, anything?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Board members on my left?
Okay.
No.
No?
Just concerned about the impervious. You have pavers. So where is the water? You worried about drainage?
Yeah, so On the front left corner of the house there, the water drains to the landscaped area of the front yard. On the back left corner there, it goes beyond the deck, so I will bring it out past the pavers to bring it to the back left corner, which shares other back corners with neighbors. It's not creating kind of water issue, even in the worst of storms with both back drains heading toward the back. There's no issue with flooding.
And the driveway, where, left and right?
And then the last down spout is in the front, and that will drain into the driveway toward the street, is my plan.
So there'd be no drainage onto anyone else's property?
No, there should be no draining on anybody else's property. It should all be onto my property.
I have a question.
Ms. Gomez?
Sure.
In the photo, because we don't have internet, I Googled it.
Yep.
And it came up with a tree where he wants to put the driveway.
I don't know that you're
may
looking
be
at the
an old
right
photo.
property.
I don't know if I have the right one.
I don't think so.
Is that the front of your house?
That is an old picture.
Is that tree removed?
We have to have you go back,
Okay, okay, that's my
we have-
concern. Okay.
you have to have the microphone there, so we're on the record.
That, I don't know when that picture was from. It was
Okay.
before me buying the house, but there are no trees in the front.
Fortunately, we don't have our internet, so I'm relying on.
I understand. There are 2 trees on the property in the back along the fence. There's a pear tree and there's a pine tree.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
There's just one more thing I want to add because I want to be clear and make sure that we're on the same page. When I'd spoken to Mr. Hollihan about the driveway, and you see that the driveway there is that rectangle in front, you had stated that I was going to put gravel between the house and the fence, and you're saying, well, as for all intents and purposes, it's a driveway, so I'm counting that as driveway. So if that's the case, I want to pave back between the house and the fence too, to bring it back to the existing, what they call concrete patio, but it's driveway in front of my garage door.
Yeah, just to provide some clarification to the board. So what the applicant is saying is, for example, if he proposed a 19-foot wide driveway, he would do the other remaining 5 feet as gravel. My office views that as part of the driveway because it's adjacent to the driveway and someone can park on the gravel surface. So in that case, the applicant is just requesting to pave that whole 24-foot wide section.
No, I think you're misunderstanding. So the neighbor would like me to pave right up to his driveway, but I think
Okay.
his driveway ends about a foot before my property
Okay.
line.
Okay.
So we're going to put gravel in there between the 2 properties to differentiate the 2 properties.
Okay.
And then what I'm saying is beyond the, you see where the driveway is in the front.
Yes.
I was going to leave gravel between the house and the neighbor's fence. But if it's going to be considered driveway, I would like to pave the area between the fence and the house as well. And I believe, if I was understanding right, you were counting that as part of the hardscape.
Well, my question is, if you're trying to create some sort of division between you and your neighboring property by putting gravel to the right of the driveway, is that correct?
Yeah, that's fine. So it's not going to, the asphalt won't go right to his concrete driveway. There's going to be 18 inches to 2 feet of gravel between the 2 driveways. That will go to the end of where I have it marked out on the driveway, to the front of the house. My initial plan, because we were concerned about the hardscape, was I said, well, I'll leave the 9-foot wide by width of the house, depth of the house, as gravel to try to satisfy some of the hardscape. But my understanding from what we discussed was that, well, you're really proposing that gravel is driveway, so that's part of the hardscape you're proposing. So I said, well, if that's the case, yeah, you can.
So you would cut this section back?
No, to the right of the house. Up. I want to pave that. I want to pave
Okay.
that too.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. To where the concrete starts behind it.
I guess let's go back. The real question that would create is, would that cause him to require? I thought this was on, I apologize. I guess the real question we have to focus on is, would that cause any additional variances? And if it would cause any additional variances, it would require an amended application for exceeding the maximum permitted impervious coverage for the property. Kind of working on it on the fly, the board can't really permit or deny it because it's not really a part of the submission materials that were applied for. What was applied for was a 24 by 35 foot driveway, as well as a 19 by 28 patio and 3.5 by 33 foot walkway. That's the application that's before the board. If you wanted to amend the application to include the extent that you want to pave that little connector that we'll call on Plan West or Plan East, that would have to be shown on a survey so that we can then calculate how that may or may not impact any potential future variance.
Okay, so when I had a conversation, it's been weeks and months really since we had the conversation, but my recollection of the conversation when we were speaking was, I had mentioned that, I said, do I need to resubmit a new, what do we call it? Yeah, because of that, and my understanding was, you're like, no, I'm counting it as driveway anyway, so you don't have to submit a new plan.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but Mr. Varga, I would say it wouldn't be creating a new variance, it would just be changing the percentage of the landscape area. So I don't know if it could be,
Well, he would have had to have noticed for that, so then the board would not be able to grant the requested
So
relief.
then I'll just leave it as gravel.
well, I think the notice was, because he's already requesting a variance for a minimum landscape area, so this would just be an additional, it would, if he's asking for 40% LAR, and that additional section adds another 3%, it's really 37. I don't think the notice specifies the actual percentage, it's just the variance itself for the landscape area.
For the resolution, we still would need to know exactly what percent that would be instead of calculating.
So
by.
I would leave it up to you whether should the board act favorably, if when we memorialize the resolution, I can give you that number of what that is, or if you'd want the applicant to come back showing that additional section to be paved.
I would defer to the chair and the board.
I would rather be conditional that that could be added to the final resolution. rather
Yeah, I
than
think just so the board
back again. We've
understands.
done this before.
Yeah, I think just so the board understands, an approval would mean what is here proposed and this section here, is that correct?
That's correct.
And it ends
Okay.
right there at the house, right? Where the end of the
Right.
house is.
Yeah, well, it actually goes a few feet past the house, just because, see where the concrete starts, the existing concrete
It'd go to
patio,
here?
as they call it, starts? Yeah, it would go to that.
Okay,
And then there's a square there between where I'm proposing for the pavers and that, where I was gonna put a shrub or some landscaping, and then I have landscaping in the back as well.
Let me see if the board members have any problem with that.
Okay.
I'll start on my left. Do you have any problem with him continuing it back to where he said?
I'm sorry. The old driveway, that's removed, right?
I removed the old I wouldn't say removed. My understanding and what I can see is that the previous owner just tore up the driveway and flipped it over. There's chunks of asphalt
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
and I've cleared a lot of that out.
Yes.
But the driveway was there, and then he just threw paper patios on top, which were, just
Right.
crooked and all over the place.
Are you sure you got enough pitch to do that
Yeah,
driveway?
yes.
It looked kind of flat to me.
It's kind of flat, but there is enough pitch to drain the water, and again, the back corner is going to go to the back corner of the house. The back right, the downspout on the top right there
Yes.
is draining to the back left of the lot. And then the downspout in the front is going to the front of the house, to the driveway.
And the pitch of the
So there's
driveway.
enough pitch. It's somewhat flat, but there is enough pitch. I leveled it. I checked with the level and everything, that what water falls between the house will drain to the front. of the
Okay.
house.
I just have a question. You notified your neighbors this as far as the additional paving you want to do?
I'm sorry?
You have notified your neighbors that you want to go to, past the back of the house by 3 feet?
Yes.
They're
My
fine with it.
neighbor and his wife can't wait for me to finish it up.
Okay.
Any comments on this side? Go ahead, Ms. Andrews. Make sure your mic's on. Thank you.
I'm just concerned about the coverage as far as water going. I understand it's supposed to be at a pitch, but it does change everything that you've said before, with where the water is going to go, how it's going to go, to make sure it doesn't go to the neighbors. That's my concern.
Yes, none of the water goes to the neighbors, because I can recap it for you where the downspouts go. But 2 of the downspouts end up in the back left corner of the yard where water drains. It's going there now with various hoses and stuff, you know, but I need to get it more permanent there and grade it so that the water drains down that way. So both rear downspouts go to the back left corner of the yard. And then the front left downspout goes to the landscaping in the front of the house. And then the front right downspout goes to the driveway, which pitches down to the street. So all the downspouts are going to landscape. 3 of them go to my landscaping. 1 of them goes to my driveway to drain out to the street. And then what water falls between the house and the fence will drain forward toward the street. And there's enough pitch for it.
Whether or not, that's going to be the same whether you extend the driveway or not.
Correct.
That doesn't
Correct.
change.
Right.
Okay.
The water drain goes to the same place.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Halloran?
2 things to add.
Go ahead.
One, the existing parking on site, as you can see on the survey, doesn't even meet the ordinance requirement for an off-street parking space because of its width at 7 feet. So the applicant's actually creating what is required for any dwelling at 2 off-street parking spaces by doing at least a 20-foot wide by 20-foot long driveway. So I would view that as a positive. The other thing regarding the landscape area ratio is the property is in an R7 zone, which requires 7,500 feet in lot area. This is a undersized lot. So if the lot were, the meet the minimum required size, I don't even think this applicant would be here. So just a couple of things to note.
Thank you.
You're speaking to a C1 hardship.
Yes.
Anything else, sir? I have to go to a public portion on this matter. Is that okay
problem.
with you?
Yep, thank you.
This is 17-2025Z, physical locations, 49 Second Street. If you're here in the courtroom, you've heard the testimonies, paver patio, walkway, and driveway. Anyone wish to be heard on this matter, please raise your hand or stand. This will be the only public portion on this matter. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Final comments?
No, thank you. I think I've said everything I need.
Counselor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an application for bulk variance relief to permit a reduced landscape area ratio where 45% is required. 40.02% was proposed. However, it's been amended during today's application to include what we'll call Plan East, the driveway portion that will be paved, and a calculation will be provided by the board's professionals. And furthermore, there'll be a design waiver to permit a 0-foot setback where 5 feet is required.
That's the condition that it will all be handled, it'll be measured out and be part of the final resolution.
Correct.
Chairman and council, if I can request one more condition that we've added before, that any adverse drainage effects that occur from the construction of the driveway should be handled by the applicant.
You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, board members? Any questions? Someone want to move this for approval? There would be C1 and a design waiver.
Izzo.
Chevalier, second.
Mr. Holland, roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes, with the conditions being met, thank you.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez? Yes. And Chairman Sullivan?
Yes, it looks like you're trying to do a good job there on your property.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Be a good neighbor.
Thanks so much. I will. Have a great day.
Good night, sir. Thank you. Our next matter. Next matter is 19-2025Z. I guess I didn't hear all that, so I'll move on. Nathaniel Cruz, it's R30 zone, block 11250, lot 14. 259 Amboy Road, Matawan. This is for a driveway expansion requiring a design waiver. Applicant proposes a 14-foot expansion to an existing driveway, installation of a new 15 by 24 driveway along Doyle Road. The proposed new driveway is 39.5 feet, approximate, from the intersection of 2 streets where 50 minimum is required. Sir, you're Mr. Cruz?
Yes,
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
yes.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
My name is Nathaniel Cruz. Cruz is C-R-U-Z as in zebra.
You're the owner of the property?
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You heard my instructions to the previous applicant. It's the same routine, who, what, why, where. We'll go back and forth, public portion. I'll come back to you and see if you want to vote.
okay, perfect, thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, and I apologize for being a little nervous. I'm not good at public forums.
Don't be nervous. More of the people are behind you than in front of you.
I tried preparing a document as best I could. Some say good evening, members of the board. Again, my name is Nathaniel Cruz. I'm here today to respectfully request a zoning variance for the second driveway on Doyle Road. This request has two parts. One, in my opinion, to legalize a driveway that was built without a proper permit and to approve its location 40 feet from the intersection, which is 10 feet short of the required 50-foot setback. First, I want to be completely transparent. The driveway was installed without the required permit. That was an honest mistake on my part. I misunderstood the process, but as soon as I was notified, I immediately contacted the zoning department and started this variance process in good faith. I take full responsibility and am committed to meeting any reasonable conditions to bring this into compliance. Now, the reason this driveway exists and why I'm asking for the variance is safety. Our home's original driveway opens directly onto Amboy Road, which is a busy main road with a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit, though cars often go faster. Entering or exiting the driveway means pulling directly into fast-moving traffic. Backing out especially is extremely dangerous for any driver, and even more so for newer drivers like my daughter, who has her permit, and my son, who's about to get his his permit also. The new Doyle Road driveway moves all the activity off of Amboy Road and onto a quiet side street. It's the only safe alternative available, and it greatly reduces our family's exposure to dangerous conditions while improving traffic flow on Amboy itself. This driveway also helps my mother, who comes daily to take care of our 6-year-old daughter. Without this access, she has to park across Amboy Road and cross through high-speed traffic to reach the house, something that's both stressful and unsafe. I believe this variance fully supports the intent of the zoning regulation. At 40 feet from the intersection, the driveway maintains clear visibility and doesn't impact safety or traffic. This is truly the minimum variance needed to make our property safe for everyday use. In short, this is not a request for convenience, it's a request for our safety. And by approving this variance, the board would correct an honest mistake and help make our property safer for our family, our caregiver, and the public. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. We understand that both of the issues here have already taken place and been built, and it was a misunderstanding that you've sought permits, but you're here now, right?
Right, no, I didn't know.
I understand.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
understand. Hold on. Let me go to the professional, let him explain to us, right?
Sure.
Mr. Hallahan.
Did a very good job of doing my job, so I don't have really much to add, but yes, it is just a design waiver. So the ordinance requires driveways to be at least 50 feet from the intersection of a road. This one is proposed at approximately 39 and a half feet, so it's about 10 and a half feet deficient. So it is just one design waiver. That's all I got.
Thank you. Let me go to my left if we have any questions of the applicant
No.
so far.
Mr. Cruz, you have a driveway on Doyle, don't you?
It is now on Doyle.
It's on Doyle, and you have one on Amboy.
On Amboy, yes. The original driveway's on Amboy.
So Doyle's 25 miles an hour on that quiet road, as you said. Why don't you park there?
No. Well, the variance is for the Doyle Road driveway.
Oh, for the Doyle Road, not the Amboy Road.
Not the Amboy Road, no. My address is on Amboy, but I'm at the intersection right there. So,
Yes,
but yeah, the driveway that for the variance is for the Doyle Road.
and you'll have access from that driveway to your home.
Yes.
And what about the Amboy driveway?
As I said before, it's 40 miles an hour on Amboy Road, and
Yeah.
very frequently people go a lot faster than that. Even for myself and my wife to park, we always gotta wait patiently to try and back up. That way we don't have to back up in the mornings or
But
the
that
evening.
driveway's right to the street, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right to the street, yeah.
So you didn't come off that curb at all? The driveway's right down to the street, right?
Down on Amboy? Yes.
Yeah, on Amboy.
Yeah.
But you're here for the Doyle one.
I'm here for the Doyle one, yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. Hallahan, what about the Amboy one?
It's an existing driveway, but by ordinance, he's permitted to have two driveways, one
Yes.
on each side of one on each frontage. It's just he doesn't meet the requirement from how close it is to the intersection.
Just for safety purposes off of Amboy.
I would agree that the Doyle driveway is a safer option, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not that he has to stop using the Amboy one, but
Right.
I think his intention is to prioritize the Doyle driveway.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Scogno. Anybody else on my left?
So the 39.5 feet from the corner to the driveway should be,
50.
Should be
50.
50, yes.
if he straightened out the lines, would he gain? Instead of the line, but if he followed the contour of the home, would he pick up what he might be shy? Well, wait, this is already down.
It's already down.
It's already there.
All right, so I like this, and good job.
I-
I retract that question.
I don't know, but I think the way it's set up, it may be easier if he's coming off of Amboy, making a right on Doyle to pull in as it is, yeah, rather than to angle it
More
towards
to
Plan
the-
North, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
Vice Chair?
Yeah, you're not expanding the Doyle driveway at all.
No.
You're just going to leave it the way it is, the way you put it down without
Yeah,
a
yeah.
permit. You're not removing that tree.
No. That was my thing. I put it between 2 trees. I didn't want to move any,
Yeah, no.
brush
Okay,
or anything
just
there.
wanted to make sure no trees were coming
Yeah.
down.
I have photos if you want to see.
I was there.
Oh, okay.
Ladies, am I right? None. Counselor, I'm going to ask a legal question. If the board were to approve this in violation of the ordinance, would there be any responsibility to the township, seeing as it's no longer at 50-foot?
No, Mr. Chairman, it's not it's not public property, it's private property.
Okay,
Hope that was turned on. No, Mr. Chairman, it's private property, not public property.
okay, thank you. I saw it, I don't have any problem. I understand what you were trying to accomplish there. I guess you can go through that fence to get into the back of your home, too?
Yes.
I guess that makes some sense, anyway. Anything else, Mr. Hollihan?
I have nothing further.
Anything else you want to tell me?
No, if you have any questions, I'm happy, but no, none on my end.
We don't seem to have any now, but
Let me
I'm,
ask one more question.
sure, go ahead.
Are you going to keep the driveway on Amboy?
Yeah, but just a matter of convenience because there's no street parking. My goal is to, utilize the driveway for me and my wife, and then for my son and daughter to utilize the Doyle because, they're inexperienced operators, and I'm, mostly
Okay,
afraid.
yeah,
of
no,
what's
I was
happening.
just curious or you were going to try and landscape it or something.
Yeah, I'll do that if you want.
There's no sidewalks there.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm sure you would want to keep that because there is no other walkway there. Anybody else?
No.
I'm going to go to public portion on this, okay? This is 19-2025Z. This physical location is 259 Amboy Road in Manawan for design waiver for a driveway. Proposed driveway is 39.5 from the intersection of 2 streets where 50 is required. Anyone here sitting in the court? Ma'am, step forward, please. Please state your name, board attorney will swear you in. You are being testified under oath.
Please raise your right hand.
Mazzio?
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record,
Karen Mazzio, Mazzeo,
and your address.
2 Doyle Road.
Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so it's more concerns about safety. I don't thoroughly object to the driveway being there. It's a distance away from my house. It's not truly an issue, other than not fully convinced that it is in fact 39 or 40 feet from the corner. If you consider that safe, then I will leave that to you. I think the question is in terms of available parking all along the street and wanting to expand the driveway on Amboy Road. If he's claiming that that's not safe, but he wants to expand that one as well, or if it has been expanded or something, is my understanding. I'm just looking for clarification to
Right.
understand exactly what's happening
The
here.
driveway on Amboy is already built out.
Right, it's already built out, and so it was just getting I understood that was also being expanded by this. I apologize.
You're not extending, you're not going to extend Amboy
already
Road
been
driveway. You're
expanded.
leaving it exactly there. And you're just trying to now legitimize the Doyle
Yes.
driveway you
So,
put on.
Which, again, no issues there. I only became aware of this because every time he does something, the people have leftover materials, and they show up at my house, and they ask me if I want to buy his leftover blacktop. I was like, sorry, I can't. But, and then in terms of that, there's extensive parking along the road, if there's any, issues, I just want to make sure. The other concern I have is the day that driveway, within days of that, there was a sign out there for a limousine company. And I just want to be assured that there's not going to be commercial use. Happy to have his children be safe, happy to have other people park there, but I am concerned that it becomes commercial use, and then how does that continue? He's got, to do many more commercial vehicles, so I just want to be on record for that. If it's for residential use and it's not for expansion of a limousine company next door to my home, absolutely fine with that.
Well, I'll see if he wants to answer that. I didn't see any when I visited a sign, but I don't know that he's operating or
very
not
low.
operating. So are you operating a business out of your home?
I am a W-2 employee. I don't have any business.
Okay, so you don't own a limousine company?
Not any partnership with a limousine company. The only signage on the fence is Garden State fence. I guess they left that on my, fence, like a little emblem.
Badging.
But other than
May
that,
I
there-
ask you, are you aware of what this lady's speaking
no,
about?
I've not personally seen a limousine signage or business on my home. I haven't even had a limousine since many years.
Counselor?
That's fair, Mr. Chairman. I can include it into the resolution.
Okay.
Or Dan could go out.
Anything else, ma'am?
No, as long as,
We're going to include that in the resolution, that there wouldn't be any uses
Yeah.
for.
Purely residential
commercial
usage.
use, I'm comfortable with it. And safety for the children is very important as well. Thank you.
I thank you for testifying before the board. Anyone else on this matter want to be heard? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. Final comments?
None, thank you.
You're going to ask me for a vote, correct?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I would appreciate a vote.
Very good. Be with you in 1 moment.
Chairman, I can clarify a couple of things if you'd like. So the first thing about any storage of commercial vehicles, Chapter 250-43K5 governs that, which permits every residential home from storing up to one commercial vehicle, contingent on some size requirements. So should the board act favorably, I'm sure the applicant wouldn't have a problem agreeing to the condition that he doesn't, violate that ordinance, and if he does, then he's subject to, notices from my office. Number two, the 14-foot driveway expansion for the driveway on Amboy Road is part of this application, but doesn't require a variance because it's permitted as of right. But just so you know, I believe that expansion was done as well.
Yeah, it was it was half asphalt, and
Okay.
then the other half was rock. And I
Okay.
just had them just, cover over the rock with the
Okay.
asphalt.
So while the applicant doesn't technically have a zoning permit because he's waiting for this board's approval for the other driveway, it would be permitted as of right under a zoning permit.
Any
That's it.
questions on that, board members? Good? Counselor?
Mr. Chairman, this is an application for design waiver relief to permit a 39.5-foot setback from the intersection for an existing but proposed driveway where 50 feet is required along Doyle Road.
Board members, you've heard what the vote would be. Someone in favor of moving this for approval for the design waiver?
Izzo, move it.
Is there a second? I'll se-
Gomez.
Ms. Gomez? Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
No.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes,
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. It's been approved, sir. You get a resolution by the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Okay? Thank you for appearing.
Thank you.
Make sure you get all your proper permits.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
All right. Next application, 14-2025Z. That's Richard Torado. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is Mr. Torado here in the courtroom?
He's going around.
He's what?
He's coming around.
Oh, okay. This is R6 zone, block 4000.13, lot 6. Physical location is 29 Athens Avenue, South Amboy mailing address. This is for a second floor addition requiring C&D variance. Applicant proposes a second story addition increasing the floor area ratio to 56.8. That's listed as 3,692.29 square feet, where a maximum of 35% is permitted. Mr. Torado, Board Attorney will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
All righty, sir. Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Richard Torado, Tirado,
And you're the owner of the property?
owner of the property, with my wife.
All right, sir. So just a matter of housekeeping. First off, under the township's ordinances, there's generally a requirement for whenever a use variance is applied for that a court stenographer is retained and provided so that a verbatim transcript is provided. But you can request that waiver from the board if you do not want to have one present. But second and more importantly, one of the variances you are requesting is a use variance, which comes with very specific proofs. And if you don't show these very specific proofs under the Coventry Hill standards for what the special reasons are, how it, the property can accommodate the increased floor area ratio, as well as how the negative criteria is thereafter affected, the board would be forced essentially to deny the application. So I don't know what your background is, what your knowledge of it all is, but there are very specific proofs that do have to be presented. So it's your application, if you want to proceed with that knowledge, that's up to you. But
Yeah, we'll proceed.
Okay. That's by rule, by the board rules.
Board rule, I
Rules and regulation, not an ordinance. Yes.
Swear in Vena?
You going to testify on this? We're going to swear in the planner who had a problem in traffic, so we can continue with this.
do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, ma'am.
It's Ms. Venus Sawant, the township planner. Okay. The only thing I'll tell you is this. You don't have to take a vote tonight. If you feel like you're underwater as this goes on, maybe you want to ask the board for a continuance. So we'll see how that goes. Again, there are certain proofs that you're going to need to present to the board in order for us to make a legal determination and a ruling either for or opposed to the application. So why don't you proceed? You'll get a feeling on whether the board's going to be in favor or has more questions, all right? Tell us what you did, or what you're planning on doing, I should say.
I plan on putting a second floor on the house, same footprint. The only difference that I'm going back is to cover a patio, which I have like a temporary covering over my patio. So that's what gives me extra square footage. Basically, walking around the community, I've seen quite a few houses that were ranches that did raise roofs and that are as big as the ones I want. I don't know, when it was coming to the FAR, I don't know if they were including the attic space, which is using for storage, or the garage, because I didn't think it was gonna be as that much compared to what I'm seeing around the neighborhood. I thought it was gonna be very comparable.
We'll probably hear that. I'm sure the planner's going to have comments on it. I would agree with you, before you continue, that many of the other homes in that Central Park area have done very similar things that you want to do.
Yeah, pretty much, I've been living there for 11 years now. I got 2 little kids. I'm just trying to make more room for my family to grow. Like, I got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. I'm trying to make, like, the bedrooms in my house are really small. So I'm just trying to,
Family is growing.
yes.
It's only going to be for your personal use. You weren't thinking about second. Okay. You want to describe what you're putting in?
Putting on the second floor is gonna be 4 bedrooms, a laundry room, and 2 bathrooms. We're basically keeping.
Sorry, 4 bed, 2 baths?
Four beds, 2 baths, and a laundry room.
Okay.
We're basically we'll get rid of 1 bedroom that's on the first floor, where we planned on putting a staircase. My son's room, which is really small, I don't even know how to really consider it a bedroom, and then we're just gonna have, I guess, our bedroom, my wife's bedroom, keep that on the first floor, just in case her parents or anybody want to sleep over every now and then when they come and visit.
You have a total of 5 bedrooms then, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a total of 5 bedrooms.
Are you going outside the footprint of the home?
No, only on the back, because I'm now gonna be covering the patio.
And I did hear you say that. Why don't you describe to us what that's all about?
Basically, right now, I have like a gazebo I bought from Costco to cover the patio to give me shade in the backyard, because in the summer, in my backyard, I have a pool and everything. There's no shade, it's all sun. So we pretty much put the gazebo we bought from Costco on top of the patios to have some sort of shade in the backyard in the summertime for the kids. And
So is that attached to the home?
it's not attached to the home. So basically, what I planned on doing was attaching it to the home.
I see. All right, I'll tell you what, why don't you hang on, let me talk to the planner here, and she'll tell us what's going on. Ms. Sawant?
So from what I understand and what you see on the screen are the architectural drawings. The drawing to the left is your existing main level, and then right. And I think the title is incorrect, but the the one to the right is the proposed second floor addition. What you will see is the patio, that's the niche, on the left side is going to be now covered. They have a covered patio, like the owner explained. They have a non-attached canopy over it. It's like a gazebo. And now they're trying to construct over that patio area. It's already a paved area, and in fact, there is going to be no change in the impervious coverage or the landscape area ratio by the addition. I'm going to ask you a few questions just to help you testify, because our attorney has explained that there are certain proofs that are required to justify floor area ratio variance. So just help me answer those.
I'll try.
And I've done this in the past when there are homeowners trying to expand and they don't have a planner, so I'm going to do my best. Do you notice that in your neighborhood, there are other homes that have similar additions and similar improvements that have been done to their backyard?
Yes.
Board members, I have some aerials here that I can pass around.
And it came with your memo, right?
Yes, some of them are but these are new because this gives an overview, a 3D image, so that you can see that there are other homes with second floor additions to the rear side. And you'll see there are a couple of houses there that have done similar additions. Now, when at the street level, if you're walking, the addition that is made, is it visible from the street view? Would you see, yes, would you see the new proposed addition if you're on the front street, if you're on Athens?
You're going to see the whole second floor, yes.
You'll see the second floor. Does it stick out, or does it stand out, or does it blend in with the other homes in the neighborhood?
And some of the neighborhoods, some of the house in the neighborhoods does blend in with.
Right. So visually, do you think there will be any negative impact that, oh my God, it's ugly, or it doesn't match with the existing home? Do you see any negative impacts to that?
No, I do not see any negative impacts. I basically, I have my neighbors coming up to me that basically say they can't wait to see how it comes out because they were thinking about doing the same thing.
Right. In terms of the positive impact, you're planning to stay in the house and help your family grow, your kids have better room and a better space, right?
Yes, I plan on staying there till minimum they're out of high school, depending where they want to go to college.
And the laundry addition that is proposed on the second floor, I just want to say that the newer homes that I'm seeing built in Old Bridge, most of them have a second floor, like they do have laundry rooms. In the past, there used to be laundries in the basement, but then it is really cumbersome when your laundry is in the basement to carry stuff to the bedrooms. I think it's a great idea to have the laundry on the second floor, especially with kids.
It's basically because my house is one of the houses in the development that does not have a basement. I'm on a slab. So we can't even go downstairs and play. There's really no room.
And that could be even more reason to have an additional space for the kids. Chairman, I don't have any further questions. I think he has addressed the criterias, and when I did my review, I did ask these questions and I was hoping to get those answers at the meeting. I did some research to provide you with the aerials just so that everybody can see that the scale of the house that is being proposed is not going to actually change the land use patterns within that neighborhood. And it's pretty consistent with what we want.
I would agree, traversing Athens from the top of 34, once you come into the development, and going down to the block below you. There's a side street on the right, Venus or
Spiros is.
Pluto or something like
Yeah,
that. It's
they're
the
all-
planets.
yes.
And I turned around there. I would say that most of the homes they were all obviously single ranchers, I'm sure, when they
Well,
put
it's
them.
a split between Cape Cods, ranches.
And most of them obviously they were late 50s or early 60s.
Yes.
And I would say that there are far more double-decked than there are still remaining single.
Correct.
Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that.
Let me see if the board has any comments or questions after hearing Ms. Sawant.
Board members, sorry, I'm so sorry. There was a clarification that I had asked for in the memo. I don't believe the owner would be able to answer that. It's related to the floor area ratio, but Danny and I quickly did the calculations, and I think the existing floor area, so when the application was filed, I think the floor area that was provided was incorrect. With the addition, we believe the floor area is somewhere around 0.39, but nothing to exceed that. So 0.568 is actually not the accurate number, because even visually, if you see the houses in the neighborhood, the existing home itself doesn't look extremely larger, and 0.5 seems to be significantly large. So we just did a quick math looking at the floor plan, and I believe the floor area should be 0.3938, something like that. If when filing the building permits, if you could have your architect reach out to Danny and me so that we can talk to him directly about the accurate number, that would be helpful.
No problem, will do.
So we're talking about 0.35 to 0.39?
Yes.
It's almost de minimis then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Questions on my left of either Ms. Sawant or the applicant?
To the applicant, maybe Mrs. Swan also, is the structure sound to support 4 bedrooms?
Yes.
You have no basement, so you're on a
I'm
slab.
on a slab, yes.
Mrs. Swan, do you think it's strong enough to
Yes.
hold?
Yes. And he has an architect who is designing it. It's not like he's just extending
And
it.
there's other towns, other ranches that did the same exact thing I'm doing.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Am I right? Mrs. Andrews?
I just want to make sure I understand. You're going to build above your patio.
Yes, the whole second floor, it's gonna be the complete footprint of the first floor, plus it's extending over my patio, so I can basically remove the gazebo.
How many?
Any plans on making it a sunroom eventually?
No. No. So, no.
Anyone else? What does it hang over on the backside? Does anybody know how many feet?
It's, I have it
What
down
the
here.
elevation? That is.
Basically, like, my kitchen pop-out's 10 feet. So the rest of basically, and from the rest of the house, it's gonna be 15 feet out by 27.9 inches wide.
The hangover is 5.2.
5.2? Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay. Anything
5
else you
feet
want to tell
2
us? sir?
inches.
I'm good, thank you.
I'm going to go to public portion. When I come back here, you can make a decision on whether you want to ask for a vote this evening. Counselor, do you have anything you want to say on the record, either in support or, I think that the applicant has put on the positive and the negative proofs as required.
Just very briefly, in your opinion, you believe that in the event that this variance was granted, that any detriment that's associated with the increased floor area ratio would be mitigated and the property would be able to withstand any adverse impact as a result of the variance?
I do.
That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Go ahead. Ms. Testoretti?
Is this an HOA?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. Let me give them the number. 14-2025Z, physical locations 29 Athens, second floor addition. Anyone here in the courtroom wish to be heard? Please raise your hand or stand. Once again, this will be the only public portion on this matter. No one has responded. I'll close the public portion. Any final comments?
I'd like to call for a vote.
It seems to me that the board has asked all the questions, and I think you've satisfied the requirements. We'll see how the vote goes. Okay? This is for first, there are no bulks at all in this, right? Just the D. It's just a floor area ratio board, and it seems de minimis at 3.9, where 3.5 is, 0.35 is allowed. Anyone in favor of moving for a D variance, D4?
Testaverde.
Is there a second?
Second, Lewis.
Going to give that to Ms. Andrews.
Absolutely.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes,
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Ms. Gomez?
Yes.
And Chairman Sullivan.
It's great when people stay here in the township and improve their home rather than leaving. So we're happy for that, and my vote is certainly yes, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, you get a resolution by the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you for appearing.
Thank you.
Okay, you gotta pause it. You can't speak, cannot speak from the floor. What's, if you want to... Ms. Joknowitz.
You remember my name?
Of
Thank you
course
very
I do.
much. Happy holidays,
well-
Diwali, everybody. I'm only
I'm
asking,
not,
I just wanted to ask you if the Pine
you have a
Street-
question about the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Pine Street, was that moved to,
I know you weren't here at the beginning. Yes, that
That's why I'm
has, that is been adjourned to public hearing on December 4.
okay, can I ask you, I sent you an email earlier this evening?
Me, personally?
Yes, sir, I think so. Well,
Oh, okay.
to the email address that was, that's on the page, on this,
Okay.
About the application,
now, about the application, it was regarding photographs from the property.
this
Sir.
board can only consider sworn testimony presented during a public hearing and evidence presented during the public hearing. You
I
can't
understand
email-
that.
You can't email him, you can't email the applicant, you can't email the board members, you can email the board secretary, but at the end of the day.
I think it was the board secretary, well.
It can only be presented at the public hearing, and the board secretary will not be distributing any emails or photographs or other exhibits that are not presented at the public hearing.
Of course, I wasn't asking for that. I was actually asking to make sure that it was received because to your point, sir, I was not sure if it should be submitted prior to testimony. So to your point, I understand, and thank you very much for the clarification. I wasn't trying to usurp any laws or any submissions. I just wanted to make sure that I had covered, excuse the expression, all bases. Okay, but thank you very much for the clarification, sir.
All
And
right.
it's been postponed till December.
December 4. There's no further notice on that, so I know you're not in the 200-foot zone there, but there wouldn't be any further notice. either.
Okay, I appreciate it very much.
Okay,
You guys
thanks
have
for
a good
appearing.
time, and a happy Thanksgiving, because I won't see you before then.
Thank you very much. You too. Where are we at?
Page one.
Vision. 27-2023Z Vision Old Bridge LLC. It's a TCD zone, block 12261, lot 64. Physical locations 3963 County Road 516. It's for multifamily residential. It's a bifurcated D variance. Peter Clauser is representing the applicant, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, your professional staff, and the members of the public. Peter Clauser with the firm Heilbrunn Pape on behalf of Vision Old Bridge. This is an application that we presented to the board quite some time ago. At that time, we had completed the engineering testimony. We had completed some testimony with regard to commercial property in Old Bridge, and also the architectural testimony. And for various different reasons, the application has been bumped and moved and kicked to tonight. A couple of days ago, we received your professionals report and the fire review report. There are some things in those reports that I think require clarification, and that the board is entitled to have some more information on. I think our fire official might have gotten out in front of the application a little bit to more site plan details. Whereas this is a use variance only, is what the applicant is requesting. We would have to return to the board for a preliminary and final site plan. So I would normally have just reached out to the board and said, carry my application, let us work out these details. However, because it's been so long and because I know that there is public interest in the application, I don't think it's fair to the members of the public to come out, sit through all those other applications, which were duly handled, and then just be sent home. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have Ms. Totten, who was previously sworn, but we may want to swear her again, and she's our professional engineer, have her remind everybody of the layout. There was one significant change. We took the height from a D variance down to a bulk variance. I'd like to get that on the record. And then I kind of want to step aside, Mr. Chairman, and hear any comments that the board may have for us. I'm going to take some notes and give the public an opportunity to be heard that have come out here tonight. And then I would ask that we be carried to a date certain without the requirement of further notice or publication. I'll get those other details cleaned up and be able to come back where I feel comfortable asking you to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Clauser. Yeah, you know what, for the benefit of, we have a large audience here this evening. I would ask that the witness be resworn so people understand that, and her qualifications put on the record so people understand
Certainly.
who she is and what her licensing is.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Lorelei Totten, T as in Tom, O-T-T-E-N, Crest Engineering Associates, Inc., Millstone Township, New Jersey. I have graduated from Lehigh University in 1977. I passed my professional engineering license test in 1983, and I have a planning license from 1986. Both are in good standing. I have worked at 6 different companies, the last one being Crest Engineering, where I've been for 31 years.
Totten, I appreciate you doing that. For the people here and those at home, it has been some time. I do want to refresh their memories as well. You're a professional engineer. You're known to this board. You've testified over many years before this board and before myself and other members of this board. You certainly, obviously, recognize your expertise and your credentials.
Thank you.
So, Lorelei, you heard my opening and the purpose of this evening. So let's give everybody a refresher on what the proposed development is and where the site is located.
Existing. Can you open the existing exhibit? Okay, so this is the, yes, it's just color. All I did was highlight the boundary of the property and color in the existing roads on both
Yeah,
sides.
You're right. Pardon me?
No, this is existing conditions.
This is the existing conditions, yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know where we are on numbers. Do you have?
My records was A5.
Okay, so we'll call this A6 or A5?
We'll call this A5.
All right, so we're going to mark this A5. And Lorelei, just to get what A5 is, it's the existing conditions that you've done what to?
We highlighted the property boundary line and colored in that gray color, the existing roads.
Thank you.
Okay, so this,
Now go ahead.
okay, this property is lot 64, block 12261. It's located at the intersection of Route 516 and Higgins, which 516 is at the top of the sheet and Higgins is to the left of the property. The property boundary is outlined in red. You can see that Higgins Road actually runs through the property and that 516 is right up against the curb lot, the pavement is right up against the front property line. The property contains 3.26 acres. It was a garden center with, as you can see, many, many structures on it at about 95% impervious. Can we go to the proposed? Oh, he stepped away.
Vina, are you able to move the exhibit?
There's 3 on the flash drive. The second one is the proposed.
Need his password?
So when we get to the proposed, it's actually on, it's one of 3 on the flash drive that he had there. There you go, the one that says proposed on it. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
All right, so we'll mark this A6, and if you could just describe briefly for the record what A6 is so that you can then reference it.
Yes, A6 is the variance plan that was submitted. The only difference is that the boundary is outlined in red again. The existing roads are the light gray, and then the darker gray is the widening of the roads. And I made the dark color of the building a light color so that it didn't overshadow the roads. So, and it also has the proposed right-of-way highlighted in pink, because I think that this is an unusual site in the way the right-of-ways work on here. So what we've shown along 516 is a 40-foot half-width, which is a typical half-width and one that was provided on other projects along 516 in the past. We don't know if the county is going to require that amount, but that's generally what they do require. As I noted before, on Higgins, a good part of Higgins actually lies on the property. So one of the advantages of this project is Higgins Road, which is in the master plan to have a 60-foot full right-of-way and be slightly realigned. We give that opportunity here. The existing road up by 516 is about 25 feet wide. When you get maybe a third of the way down the building, it becomes only about 21 or 22. So our proposal addresses that situation. And I thought because a lot of the setbacks are off of the roadway, this shows you why they are what they are and what some of the variances from the town center zoning that we're requesting. It has to do with the requirements of right-of-way. So if we could go to the rendering, I can tell you a little bit about the proposed development on site. That would be the third one. This is a rendering update of the one that we submitted originally, because we have, while the layout did not change significantly, we do show 4 EV spaces, I think 6 handicap accessible spaces. Yes.
I'm sorry, so just for the record, which is important, this will be marked A7. This is your rendering. Your
Yes,
updated rendering.
yes,
Thank you.
updated
Sorry.
rendering. It's got today's date on it, 10/16. Yes, so this rendering shows you proposed landscaping, proposed walkways, proposed paver areas adjacent to the curb line, as is required by the town center. And we described in more detail at the last meeting. It shows 2 access points, one on Higgins and one on 516, Route 516. And that's really my review of what we presented last time, very condensed.
I'm sorry, just real quick. For me to be straight, where's your access on Higgins?
It is.
Do you have a pointer so that
I do.
All the way down.
Thank you.
See.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Here's the access off of Higgins.
Uh-huh.
And this is the access off of 516. This space has been allocated for stormwater, although some BMPs may end up being also under the parking lot. So we have circulation through the site that can accommodate emergency vehicles. We have 4 EV spaces along in here. We have 6, I think, handicap accessible spaces in this area, and there's 1 space that's designated for deliveries like Uber or Grubhub, those types of deliveries.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there on your presentation. Last time you were here, you suggested 3 parking spaces on Higgins Road for deliveries of products and everything else. I don't see that on this plan.
They were removed. I thought they were removed before when we were
No,
here
wasn't-
at the
it was a-
last
They were
meeting.
removed based on comments that we had received from the board and the public, so we got rid of them.
So now they're just going to be like shrubbery there?
Yes,
Okay.
landscaping, yes, yes. And I'll remind you that there is a loading space along in this area, which also doubles as a place for a trash truck to come in, because there's a trash room here for the trash to be brought out in barrels just before it's to be picked up. The amenities, the sidewalk is right up against the right-of-way line, although on this plan you can't see it as well. The right-of-way line runs through the sidewalk on this side. And I'll remind you that both of these right-of-ways are still needing to be confirmed. We feel comfortable with the one on 516. There is, the right-of-way in this is likely going to be very close to what it is, but we would, should you grant this approval for this variance subsequently, we would work with your township professionals to create the right type of right-of-way for Higgins Road. So I think are there any questions that I can answer?
I would normally go to the professionals. Let me go to the board members first, okay? In case they do have something at this point. On my left?
Can I ask about that? Is this? Microphone. Thank you. Is this facing 516? Is this the back or the front?
I think you've probably got several elevations there.
I can't read it from here. Mr.
Yeah.
It's just the building of the structure. Is this the front? And is this facing 516?
There-
What that is,
It says under each one what the elevations are of.
Facing 516. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Scogno, anything else?
I'm done, thank you.
Mr. Rizzo? No. Vice Chair?
Nope.
Ms. Andrews? Ms. Testaverde, okay. Counselor?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Now I'm going over to Ms. Sawant.
I don't have any questions for the engineer.
And Rakesh Darji is not here this evening, but obviously,
Another advantage of coming back, and I'll make sure all my
Right,
professionals are
Actually,
here.
Bernie can ask any questions. I
understand
mean,
that.
he's
I'm
reviewed.
merely mentioning that Mr. Darji.
Oh,
is
okay.
here. We can get to Mr. Tetrold in a moment. And Ms. Totten would probably be available at any subsequent hearing.
Yes, yeah, I'll have all my professionals
Thank you.
back, including the architect, if you want to revisit questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just try and leave
Mr.
as many people
Tetrold.
home as I can.
I have nothing at this time.
Okay.
We did a pretty comprehensive resubmission. We tried to satisfy a lot of the comments.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
as I stated earlier, Mr. Chair, to make this easy for you, because I don't want to ask this board to vote until I know I've done my very best with the plan and responsive to your professionals, I would ask if you would open it up to the public that's here to give them an opportunity to be heard. And then if we could pick a date where I can go be carried to.
In fairness, Mr. Clauser, why don't you also inform those here and those maybe watching at the next meeting, what's going to happen? Who you
So
have
I
testify?
anticipate at the next meeting, Mr. Chair, that if we require further testimony from Ms. Totten to address any of the comments from the board, that will be presented. After that, in my order, my next witness is Frank Miskovich, who's our traffic expert, and then we would have Allison to do the planning testimony. That's what I was going to do tonight, but again, I'm not comfortable where I'm at, especially with the firemen, because you know how important that is to me, and I know how important that is to you. And I want to make sure that Mr. Miller understands we're going to be able to satisfy his concerns. But I just didn't have enough time to do that.
I think that's a wise decision.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and
That's what you'll see next time.
We'll hear from Mr. Miskovich, the planner. Is Ms. Coffin?
Is Ms. Coffin, yeah.
Okay.
You're going to hear from both of them tonight, too.
All right, and we'll get a date for that.
Yes,
So
please.
if you're here in the audience in this matter tonight, I'm going to open up a public portion in short order, but there are more witnesses to be heard yet on this application. So that's going to be at a subsequent date, which I'm going to ask,
December 18th.
how does that sound?
I'm going to make it work.
12/18.
Close to
I'm
Christmas.
just going to look at my phone, Mr. Chair.
If 12, why don't we put down 12/18 if that's,
Yeah, I
all the-
mean,
if all the professionals can be
Always.
here? You're comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're sitting in a quorum here tonight, we're going to have an open public portion, but the next scheduled application hearing would be marked down for December the 18th of this year. Okay? All right. Having said that, I'm going to open up the public portion on this. This is Vision Old Bridge LLC, 27-2023Z. Once again, these are multifamily residence location is 3963 County Route 516. This is a bifurcated application seeking key variance use. Is anyone interested? How many people are interested? Just raise your hands that I'm going to get to. Okay. I'll do it in an orderly fashion. We want to hear from everyone. There will be a microphone, of course, here. You can adjust that accordingly. Before you testify, you must be sworn, giving your name and address, because it becomes part of the permanent record. Am I correct, Counselor?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
By law?
Correct.
Okay. And I'll try and get through as many as we can here. We got plenty of time. I would just ask people, don't be repetitive. If you have, questions that have already been answered, please don't ask the same question again. But as I said, I don't really have a particular order. I saw your hand first, sir, over there. If yep, don't look away, you. If you can be first, sir, come on up. And I know, I would assume there's probably people here that also testified at the last hearing back in May. But that's okay. Okay, that's all right, ma'am. Go ahead,
Please
sir.
raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
My name is Sam Rizzo, R-I-Z-Z-O.
And your address, please?
I live at 125 Aberdeen Road, Matawan. I'm here as a member of the Madison Old Bridge Township Historical Society.
Go ahead, Mr. Rizzo.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure if these questions have already been answered, but has there been a discussion before the board about the historic building?
None that I recall on the record. I know that there was comment in
I can address that if you'd
memorandum.
like. Yeah, I can address that if you'd like.
Sure.
There was no historic building on the property. We've been through this. I provided the board with a legal memorandum regarding same. The home has been demolished. That was on the property in accordance with your rules and regulations. Notice of that was provided to the neighboring property owners. I understand from speaking with Ms. Shapiro that a presentation was made to your council on, I believe, Tuesday night to that effect. So there's a national registry not located on that. There's a state registry not located on that. There is a township ordinance which identifies all of your historical properties not located on that. There was a study done probably before I was born, which looked at this property and said that it's not worthy of being placed on a registry. That study was later affirmed again and identified as not on a registry. So this is nothing other than another house in the township of Old Bridge. Some people may have a personal opinion about it, but as much as you make me follow the law, when I get a chance to rely upon it, I'm going to do that.
Chairman, if I may?
Sure, go ahead.
Only because I know this question has been coming up so frequently. Ms. Shapiro on Tuesday night made a detailed presentation, but just for the benefit of the zoning board, I'm actually carrying the document, the original document that has this site evaluation. It was site 69, which clearly says that it's not on the National Register, it's not a historic site, and that there is no reason to, there's actually a page here that says that registry eligibility, it's marked as no, and just to reiterate that in 2008, Richard Grubb and Associates performed a consequent study, and in that report too, he indicates regarding this site that according to the 1981 survey, a barn once stood to the south of the existing house. It was demolished, and some of the remaining barn tenant members were used in the building of a fence on this property. Many of the windows have been replaced with 6-1 sashes. The brick foundation is no longer visible, having been covered with stucco. And at the end of the report, it says no further action or research required. So there was a detailed presentation in front of the council. Mr. Clauser had reached out to our office. We provided him with the information, and this was prior to the first hearing, prior to them coming and making the initial presentation. So there has been communication between the planning department and the applicant on this matter numerous times.
Okay, did the council take any action, or did they memorialize anything?
There was no action required. It was just because there were a lot of people questioning the demolition of the building that the council thought it was necessary for one of us to come and offer explanation. So Ms. Shapiro at the council meeting gave a detailed summary of everything that transpired between the applicant, us, and the Historic Commission. There were email exchanges between me, Nicole, and Mr. Pucciarelli, who I think heads the Historic Commission. And he too had issued a letter acknowledging that the site is not on the National Register, or it's not a historic site. And we do have that letter. We had it as one of the exhibits to the council.
Just to, also for the board to know how thoughtful I was with this in my guidance to my client, we appeared at one of the Historic Commission meetings, and I presented this evidence to them and asked for their support, which was denied. But it is what it is. It is not a historic property. It's just a belief that some have, and it's just perpetuated a bit.
Okay, Mr. Rizzo?
Mr. Chairman, I could agree that it's not a historical property, but then we'd all be wrong. It is historic. It's historic by the township ordinances. It's permitted to be historic by the state law, municipal land use law. And I would like to go through why I believe it is historic.
Should we have a discussion about a building that no longer exists?
I'm going to ask the council, would this be proper?
At this point, it's not. He's certainly welcome to present any evidence, any testimony he wants, but at the end of the day, it's not recognized as a historic property. And based off the township's ordinances, it's not listed there. Based off the state register, it's not listed there. Based off the national register, it's not listed there. So while you're certainly entitled to present any evidence you would like, it's not necessarily relevant to the board's consideration.
Mr. Chairman, I respectfully disagree. The ordinance does list this as a historic property. The ordinance hasn't been followed, and somehow it's gotten into the mind of some people that it has to be on the National Registry to be historic property. That's not correct.
With all due respect, Mr. Rizzo is a learned man and former planner here for years, and I respect your knowledge and all that you've done for the community in your planning position. I don't know how this is going to be mitigated here tonight. I don't know what this board can do for you, other than we have documentation that's been presented to the council. We have the applicant's attorney backed up by the professionals from the township saying that it doesn't qualify by, is it national or is it state standards?
Any of them, including your local.
All
of the above. If you have something to the contrary?
Yes. The ordinance is to the contrary. The state law is to the contrary. There's nothing in the state law that says it has to be on a state or national registry in order to be considered a historic site in the township of Old Bridge. That's written in the municipal land use law.
Privately owned property.
I think you have to follow the municipal land use law. I think you have to follow the township ordinance. The township ordinance designates this in many ways as a historic site in the township. The municipal land use law allows townships to designate properties as a scenic site, as a cultural site, as a vista, as a historic site. It doesn't have to be on registry for any of those. It can be designated by the township for the township's reasons.
And it has not been.
And it has been. It's
Has
listed-
not been. It's not listed in your ordinance under your historic sites. Why do we have to keep going through this, Mr.
You know,
Chair?
you haven't gone through it with the ordinance. You haven't read the ordinance. I haven't seen that in the.
There is a list in your ordinance of historic sites that the council has
I
endorsed.
would ask-
This is not
I-
included.
I-
This is just an attempt to smear the applicant and make it look like a bad
Council,
application.
let me ask a quick question. Excuse me. Do you have proof that
Yes.
this property is listed and recognized by the township as a historic piece of property?
Yes,
What is that proof?
that's the proof that I wanted to present to you.
What is that proof? Is it a resolution? Is it an ordinance? Is it a letter? It's an ordinance.
Ordinance.
And a town,
Read the township ordinance, you will see where the proof is in the township ordinance, and I'd be happy to go through it.
and it identifies a specific property.
No, it's not identified by specific property in the ordinance. It's defined in the ordinance as a historic property.
So he's now interpreting a
I
characteristic from an
understand.
ordinance
I
to
understand. That's
determine
where I'm
that this
getting-
property
I'm
is
getting to
historic.
that.
It's a requirement in the ordinance, and that requirement says that if you don't meet the requirement, it requires a D variance. It hasn't been applied, and it hasn't even been to this board for an interpretation.
But the township has never specifically recognized this piece of property.
The township has indirectly.
No, not indirectly. My
No.
question is very simple. Directly. Has the township directly identified this piece of property as a historic parcel?
Yes,
Directly.
yes,
When?
in the ordinance. In the ordinance, it said, you won't let me present what's in the ordinance. I'd like you to see what's in the ordinance rather than just us debate about whether or not it's in some document, because the document that he's referring to is not the document that's in the ordinance. The document in the ordinance by reference is, it is shown in there in the historic, I forget what you called it, the historic sites. There is, as Venus said, that the characteristics of the property do not make it so that it meets the historic designation of the state. But that doesn't matter. It meets the designation of the township.
Sir, you're welcome to present your arguments and your evidence to the extent that the board
Absolutely.
should be applying a standard. But at the end of the day, the township has never specifically identified
They
it.
have applied that standard for many years. It's been the standard for at least 40-plus years.
Understood. Please present your case.
I'm sorry?
Please present your case.
Okay.
Mark your first exhibit as 01 as you go through it.
Could you please continue to speak into the microphone because it won't
I'm
pick
sorry.
up the
Okay,
sound?
we don't need comments from the audience, please. We have people from the cable station who will advise us.
Okay. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is that this issue of whether or not it has to be on a state or federal registry in order to be
I'm
historic.
just going to ask
site in
for
the
one
town.
thing. Wait, gentlemen, and the attorneys. My understanding is that any opposition case follows the end of the applicant's case. And we've had opposition cases here before.
Certainly, the chair is entitled to require that any opposition, any objector present their evidence at the close of the applicant's case that the applicant can then.
Can't hear you.
That the applicant can then provide rebuttal testimony to.
Right. And I don't have a problem with you doing that, but I think we have to follow what we're supposed to follow. And opposition cases, to my understanding, were after the applicant's case, to follow the applicant's case.
So we want to.
If you disagree, Counselor, or if you disagree, Counselor, obviously I have to take your counsel, but any opposition case that we've had before this board has happened after the completion of the applicant's case.
Before a vote?
Oh, of course, before a vote, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, you're entirely within your right to require that to be done. And at this point, limit it only to public comment on the testimony that's been provided.
Chairman, Board Attorney, if I may, because there's so much discussion on the ordinance, right, whether it's listed or not. I have the ordinance in front of me, and I'm doing a quick review where it lists the duties of the Historic Commission, and there is a list. So ordinance number,
I think we're getting, excuse me, Ms. Swan, I think we're getting right back into the same situation where we're going to present a case, an opposition case here.
Right, but I just want to.
Rizzo's certainly entitled to do so.
He is. The only thing is because I know Mr. Rizzo keeps saying that it's on the list or it's in the ordinance, which is not true, because the Historic Commission has the ability to pick properties that are not on the National Register, make recommendations. However, that list does not include Bennett House, and I just wanted to make that statement. If the council would like or the board would like, I have the section of the ordinance in front of me.
I don't know that we want to argue an opposition case now when we're on public portion for comments on the testimony.
I get it.
So, Mr. Chair, normally we hear public comments in, asking questions about drainage, about, heights and landscaping and things of that nature. And I agree that those go as we go. But I would agree with you that if somebody's going to bring up a legal opposition to the particular case, and with your attorney's blessing, I agree with you. I think that changes the character of it. And I mean, I think it's also a little unfair that I don't get an opportunity to see these arguments ahead of time when my case has been out there in the public for all of this time. So
I don't know that the board's even prepared to listen to an opposition case tonight, and we've never done that. And I think we should be informed and have documentation sent to us beforehand to review, for council to review. I have no problem with Mr. Rizzo doing so, but I think it should be done in an orderly fashion.
I agree, and I couldn't object to him making a
And
case.
unless I'm told otherwise by council, I think I have every right to do that.
You do, Mr. Chairman. It's well within your authority.
Okay. I would ask you then, Mr. Rizzo, to actually inform the applicant's attorney that you are going to present opposition case and submit any of those evidential materials that you have to the board via the township, and obviously it'll be received by counsel for the board, and it'll be received by counsel for the applicant.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I may, if this is a D variance because of the house, if there are other D variances, then it's not just an opposition case. It's a case of, or a question of whether there was defective notice.
That still goes into opposition.
That precedes any opposition case. That's a question of whether or not you've properly notified all of the property owners, the newspapers, and so on, that this may be on the agenda, that it may be a use variance for the house. It may be a use variance for, I know that one of the D variances was eliminated tonight for the height. I don't know if all the other D variances that we've looked at are still applicable or not. But if they haven't been applied for, then there's a defective notice. So you can't even finish the case without.
And isn't that an opposition case?
For me to have an opposition.
I'm saying, isn't that an opposition case, that their case is deficient? And the board should know that.
I get to proceed at my risk. I'm real confident in my notice.
That's
There was no D variance for a
jurisdiction
historic
is
site.
the applicant's burden. If he's confident in his notice, he can proceed, and if there was defective notice, that's the applicant's risk. But it goes again to the opposition that's going to be presented, so that the objector can build his record at the appropriate time during the hearing. Right now, as the chairman, as you've indicated, this is public comment for the testimony and for questions, and the applicant's ultimately going to return.
So, Mr. Rizzo, will you do that?
Exactly what is it you want me to do? To give
Well,
you information now or to wait until the end?
Well, no, it can't be done now, but you should submit any documentation you have that you're going to present an opposition case. It will be received by the township and will be received, I would assume, township attorney and yourself.
Correct.
And the board will see what we are allowed to see at whatever time that is. But Mr. Clauser's client, I think, is entitled to finish their case, their prosecution of their application before an opposition takes place.
Okay.
I know I've sat through 2 or 3 here while my term on this board, and it's always been at the completion of the application. So if I'm wrong, I said, counsel can tell me I'm wrong, but he's agreed with me, and I think that would be a better forum to do so, and people would be prepared to deal with that.
Okay.
I don't know what documents you have, Mr. Rizzo, and the board attorney can't advise us either because he doesn't know what documents you have. So I think in fairness, let's do this the right way.
My intention was not to present a opposition case. My intention was to provide information so the board can make an informed decision.
Well, we're not making any decision tonight anyway.
I know
There's-
that.
You know there's more witnesses to testify. You've sat here all evening. So
I know that. I'm just
In
saying.
that vein-
I believe the record should be complete first before the case is decided, because then it would be an opposition case. But the information needs to be presented to the board
I
as
don't
part of the
pretend to be
application.
a lawyer, and I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what qualifies as an opposition case other than you're opposing something, not what was presented here in the record before the board, at least not to my knowledge. I received nothing to that effect. It was the first time I heard that. I didn't watch the council meeting. I don't know when that took place. You said last night. I'm sorry, Tuesday. I'm unaware of that. I think our council is unaware of that.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
It's the first time I've heard that. So I think obviously, we're going to have another hearing. We've already scheduled for December 4th, and I don't know if Mr. Klaus is going to complete. I'm sorry, 18th. It's right in front of me. I don't know that Mr. Klauser is going to rest that evening, at which time there would be an opposition case, but I know he has 2 or 3 witnesses. I believe 3, you said.
At least 2.
At least
If-
2.
If not, we need to bring back Lorelei.
So it may rest that evening, but it may not. I don't know. But it can't be, it could not be voted upon when there's an opposition case pending.
Correct. He would be entitled to present his testimony as evidence and his, and any witnesses he has in support.
Just so you're aware, I'm not here to oppose or to ask
I understand.
for approval of the case at all. I'm here to point out what the ordinance says. And it has nothing to do with whether he presents D variances to you and the board grants those D variances. I have nothing to do with that. That's up to the board. I'm only looking at the issue for the Historical Society. And by the way, I did watch the meeting on Monday night, which is the only reason I'm here. And in that meeting, there was great confusion between what the Historical Society was and the Historic Commission. They seem to be interchangeable to the person speaking, and they're not interchangeable.
Well, I'm certainly not qualified to say what your evidence is or isn't. I don't, as I've known you for years. I've known you were a professional planner in this township for years. I don't know how you would be testifying and under what, how we would receive that evidence. I don't know, would he be saying he's a professional and he's presenting this, or he's just a citizen and presenting this? I don't know the answers to those questions. So I'm going to have to find out too. You're going to hand over some documentation that you want the board to see. I think that our council has to see it first. I think the applicant's council has to see it first.
Okay.
Whether or not the board's going to be entitled to see it. And I think you well know that. I'm not trying to be argumentative with you, sir. You know that. I want a fair hearing, but I don't know that we can do that right now.
So at this time, I guess, Mr. Chairman, do you want to just limit it to just strictly public comment on the testimony that's been presented so that for the applicant to return?
Well, we've opened up a new door here, and I don't know if we're going to hear more about things we don't even know about. So I'd like to see whatever documentation you have or you're going to present to us. And I think we could be, if you want to try at the next meeting after they rest their case, that's fine. If they don't rest their case, they still have more witnesses to put on. I think that's the proper way to do that, and council agrees with me.
And that's fine, Mr. Chairman. Again, I think the evidence is apropos to the application before it's voted on. But if you feel that,
And we will consider, and we will give it the merit that it deserves, if that be so, sir. All right?
yes.
All right. Yes, you need to submit the documentation so we get the ball rolling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rizzo.
So I think I would request that the supporting material be submitted to the planning department as well, because it's a question of an ordinance. We would like a chance to review it as well.
I don't know what type of notice is required. Legally, you would know, and Mr. Clauser obviously knows how you have to legally notice the board.
Well, wouldn't the notice, so essentially generally when there's there's an objector, the objector's attorney or whoever the objector is, if they're going to present testimony and evidence, the evidence would generally be submitted to the board's professionals as well as the applicant ahead of time, just so that they're aware if there's a jurisdictional issue. But there are times that no evidence is submitted and the applicant and the objector presents the evidence at the time of the public hearing when they're presenting their case as a surprise. And it's ultimately up to them. But for all intents and purposes, it doesn't serve anybody any justice if you hide it till the last day. It'd be better if you could submit a copy to my office, copy to Mr. Clauser, copy to the board's professionals, and then we can get down to it. If it's truly a jurisdictional issue, it could be defective, but counsel is confident and he wants to proceed, and that's it, Mr. Chairman.
I'm looking for your advice, and if that's what your advice is, then I would suggest that to you, Mr. Rizzo.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thank you for appearing. All right, we'll get back to who would be next. Gentleman.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record, sir.
Ed Lauer, Lauer.
And your address, please.
My address?
Yes, please.
4085 County Route 516, Matawan, New Jersey, 07747.
Take it away.
Now, I don't want to kick this can down the road anymore. I concur with Mr. Rizzo, and I guess we're going to resolve this at a later date. I can say that I'm disappointed that the township would fight so hard to say a building that was 144 years old was not historical, sorry. And everybody on the board, members, we're residents. We're looking to have this, this corridor, 516 and the town center, to look good. Now, I can understand Mr. Clauser's position. You know, it was, the only thing wrong with that house that I saw, that it was in the way. Anyway, you have a lot of people here, other things they want to talk about. I'm going to go to your witness here. Did you say that the right-of-way was, I'm sorry.
Ms. Totten?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you say the right-of-way was 40 feet on 516?
Half width of the right-of-way is 40 feet.
Okay, half width is that the proposed right-of-way?
That is the proposed right-of-way, correct.
Okay. And the original right-of-way is 33 feet, right?
I don't recall what it is off the top of my head. I don't have planned.
It was 2 rods wide, which would make it 33 feet. The original site, not where you're showing up now, but the original projection you had, you said that the site was 90% impervious?
It is approximately 95% impervious, yes.
The picture we're looking at right now?
That is the existing conditions when we did the survey.
Oh, because I must need new glasses because I thought it was all stones, most of it. Yeah, that's all my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lara.
Thank you.
Somebody over there, gentleman in white sweater?
Hi.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Bill Quinn. I'm a resident of Hoboken, 700 First Street in Hoboken. So I wanted to talk about the house that was torn down. 2 years ago, I was doing some family history, looking up real estate records, and I found out it at one point belonged to my grandparents, who bought it from the Bennett family. I was actually a little surprised that it had survived so long, but I thought it was terrific that it had, and that the town had respect for its historic sites. And I talked to the previous owner of the property, Alan Steiner. He owned the garden center, and he told me that the reason he had preserved it and the previous owner had reserved it was because they respected it as a historic site, and they respected the town's ordinances on it, and they didn't want to have it torn down. Instead, as you probably know, they used it as their office for some 40 years. And I thought that was really terrific. I mean, the town has a long history of being a farming town, back when it was Madison Town, and it has many great historic structures that it has preserved. And I just thought that was, and you've done the Cottrell Farm has been preserved. So those are all great things that I thought it would continue. So I was surprised that it was torn down without any discussion in public among you members of the board, or any action by the Historic Commission. I just thought that was very disappointing. I think you have this tradition, you've done great things in the past, you've come up with a list of 90 to 100 historic sites in the township that are over 100 years old, and I thought you would have, you know, if you're gonna have someone tear them down, they'd had first better talk to you about it, or certainly talk to the Historic Commission about it, and so that people can make, you know, express their opinions about what should be done, instead of just being a sole decision by a developer. So that's my opinion. I was disappointed that it didn't survive further. I know these are difficult decisions for you, but I was hoping that you would weigh in on it, and other people could weigh in on it. So that's all I have to say. It's just a disappointment that this way things happened here.
Mr. Quinn, the board will be glad to weigh in on it when we get to see what is being presented. We have no jurisdiction over historical appointments, if you will. That's not our purview. I'm happy to hear this, and I said if you'd like to join us on December 4th, when we may or may not have it, I'm sorry, December 18th. I don't know why I keep saying the 4th. We'd welcome you to come, but I don't know that the opposition case will start that night. But if you have anything, why don't you speak with Mr. Rizzo as well?
Well, I have spoken to them. I think it's, you know, this is very disappointing, and it's too late, right? This has been done without any discussion or input.
Well, not from this board.
Well, I mean, the township approved this.
But this board has no jurisdiction there, sir.
Well, who's responsible? The town council?
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair.
So can I just go back? So there's something really important, and there's a rule called the time of the application rule, and I've just confirmed that the ordinance itself its property is only protected under the historic ordinance if it's specifically identified, and because it's not specifically identified, even if the town messed up and this property should have been listed, because this application is already on file, it doesn't have to comply with the protections. So the time of the application rule complies. So while I certainly can appreciate the historic nature of it, but I did just confirm with the planner, that's the way the ordinance operates. So even if it was historic and it should have been listed, the fact that it's not entitles the applicant to the benefit of the doubt, and jurisdiction is proper.
Why did the previous owners spend 40 years preserving the property?
Again,
They were mistaken?
it's not listed on the township's ordinance.
Well, they thought it was a historic site, and they thought there'd be consequences if they tore it down. There don't seem to be any consequences pending for this developer, but it just seems that the town should weigh in on these things and not just let them happen. So that's my comment.
Mr. Quinn, I think that probably your comments would be better served speaking to the council, because this board has no legislative
You have to approve.
power that deals with historic sites. We don't have that power, sir. And the attorney just told you we don't have that power. The council probably has that power. They're the legislative body here in the township. So I don't have that power, nor does anyone on this dais. I appreciate what you're saying, and while it may be true or not true, I don't know.
Well, it seems somewhere in the township there should be some public discussion of matters like this, instead of having it just happen.
I understand that, but this board sits to hear an application that's put before us.
Right.
And if we accept jurisdiction of that application.
Well, part of the application was to tear this building down.
No, it was not.
Well, it was listed in there. I saw that. So it was something you could have discussed. So I don't understand
Permit to
why-
tear the permit at the end of the day, though, to get the authority to tear the house down would have been issued by the Department of Community Development if it was historic in nature. But again, it's not on the it's not on the ordinance. Time of the application rule complies. The applicant does not have to comply with the protections.
Well, there seems to be a real dispute about what's in the ordinance here. I'm just
Exactly, but it's
you
not
people have to work
specifically
that out.
listed.
I'm just saying it's very disappointing there isn't public discussion of public matters in this town, especially after you've done so much in the past to protect historic sites. That's my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn.
I would just like to clarify, Mr. Chair, that, and your attorney has mentioned it in passing, when you have an ordinance which identifies historic sites, so that when someone applies for a building permit, that ordinance, I believe, a demolition permit, is reviewed as part of the process along with everyone else. Did you disconnect the utilities? All of those things. And because it's not on that registry, it's a house that can be demolished. It starts with the Fifth Amendment in the United States Constitution, and then it slowly gets watered down by township regulation. So this is just a great mischaracterization of the applicant, property owner. People like to use that word developer. He's a property owner. You guys know exactly who he is, and had no obligation to have any kind of public discourse with regard to the demolition of the home, and in fact retained me to take him through the entire process to make sure that it was done correctly 100% of the way. I would never be involved in a demolition permit. I provided notice to the adjacent property owner, which is what's required in your demolition permit, so that was done, and because it's not on your registry, it doesn't come up as part of your review. It's just like another house in Old Bridge.
Thank you, Mr. Glasser. Do you have anything to say? Next person. Yep. And then the lady, are you coming up? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hello, Carmela Spinelli.
The swearing first.
Oh, yeah. I
I'm
forgot.
sorry. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Carmela Spinelli, Spinelli, 3964, Route 516, bird's eye view of the whole entire project since it runs directly across from my house, from one of my driveways all the way to the other driveway. So I just had a couple questions. You said the D variance was changed. Does that mean you're doing a flat roof now?
Well, no, the architect was able to create a situation where the property we still require a bulk variance for height of 38.3 feet, but we no longer require a D variance for it.
Okay, so you're still, I guess my question is, it's still going to be 3 floors?
Yes, it's still 3 stories.
Okay. I want to say I'm not against building. I'm really not. In fact, I told you that when you came to my house. I'm not against building there. I know he's entitled to build what's town center design, which we all know from the 80s was a crack pipe dream of what town center design was supposed to be. It never came to fruition. Even if he built stores with apartments above it, which is what technically it's zoned to do, you have one on one side, maybe 1,000 feet on the other side, another strip, then down the road, another strip. It was never going to be a town. So I don't have an issue with him requesting to change the bottom level to be apartments. My biggest issue, and I've listened to a lot of these things, in fact, you even asked the previous applicants what it was going to do for the other neighbors, what it was going to look like for the other neighbors. Was it going to fit in with the other neighbors? Yet this doesn't fit in any way, shape, or form. 2-story apartment complex, something maybe like Geik residency or something like that, fits in with the neighborhood. There's all single-level houses, double, 2-level houses. The couple of businesses that are there are in-house structures. So even though the design is absolutely beautiful and it would look good in Newark, that corner is not an urban corner, and it just doesn't fit. Another thing, which I guess I can speak to maybe at the next time, is I know that corner. I'm not a traffic expert. I didn't go to school for studies. I didn't put things together from all the traffic study books, but I have lived there since the 80s. My husband since the 60s and my father-in-law since the 40s. We have seen that stretch of 516 every time of the day, morning, noon, night, weather-related, every season that you could go through, every day, soccer season, football season, graduation. Try getting out of my driveway. There is no getting out of my driveway when high school is in session. I used to leave my driveway. If I didn't leave by 7 o'clock to bring my daughter, it took me a half an hour to get from my house to the high school. So the point I'm trying to make is that corner cannot handle 68 apartments. I would love, if they're here for variances, I would love to have seen it. Push it back a little bit, maybe make it 2 stories, maybe make it fit in with the surroundings. And, then I think it could be a go. But like I said, I'm not against building. I'd rather see something there than nothing there. I also want to clarify something, and it might just be a technicality because we're not an adjacent property, but we didn't get notice of the building coming down. Doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I'm not against it coming down. I'm just saying in the back of my head, I'm also very concerned because when the previous project was built next to what was my in-laws when they were alive, they weren't required to put any type of fence up. So they didn't. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, what are they not really required to do for this project that they won't do? Because there's no fence up, I have residents and I know it's not his fault, but they walk across my driveway. They're practically in my house, walking down 516 because there's no barrier. He wasn't made to do it, so I'm not faulting him for that. But my question is, now when this goes up, and again, we don't know, is the county going to say, okay, well, now we need a traffic light there? Well, now that traffic light is where my Christmas tree decorations are in the middle of my lawn. Or my second driveway, now I can't get out because now it's a traffic light. Or now are people going to cross at that now traffic light and go across my lawn? They come across my lawn as it is, and I don't mind because I know walking on 516 is dangerous. So if people have to walk across my lawn, I'd rather them do that than go out and have another accident in front of my house. But at the same time, I don't want them walking practically where my porch is. So that's my only, couple of little tidbits here that, I just wanted to put on record and just really put in your minds that I know a lot of times you ask residents what their house is going to look like. What's it going to do to the neighbors? And I hear things that go off with like developers or with commercial properties, and not a lot is really said. What is it going to do to neighbors? 3 stories smashed on that corner. It's just a nightmare. It needs to be pushed back. It needs to be scaled down, and then it would work. But I am telling you, not as a traffic expert, from somebody that sits on her front porch and calls 911 continuously. There are accidents on that corridor, making that left, coming out, trying to make a right. There's times that I want to go to Matawan that I literally make a right and go down 34 because I can't make a left out of my driveway. So, although maybe a traffic light would help me make a left. That's all. Thank you.
Spinelli, I know that you and your family are long-term residents here in this community. I know you take pride in this
I
community.
married in. He was the one that was really here.
Well, you're stuck with him now, so.
Yeah, at this point, he's broken in.
And I appreciate your commentary. I would just remind you, this is a bifurcated application. Right now, all they're in front of this board for is a permission to change, well, how would I say, they're looking for a variance relief that they don't have to build commercial stores on the first floor. By right, they can put an apartment building, but they cannot do it without a commercial entity in the park. And nobody says that it's going to wind up in 3 stories and that many
Well,
units.
that was my question.
That's going to be seen as they go to site plan, if they get approval.
Correct, but
I just wanted to let you know
my
that.
point is, if you're allowing them to put the apartments on the first floor, then
That's why they're here.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, then there has to be consideration to, if you're allowing them to put apartments on the first floor, then there shouldn't be a third floor. But now you're giving them permission to put apartments on the first floor, so then now the third floor becomes extra. It should be, if we are allowing you to put apartments on the first floor, then there shouldn't be a third floor. That's what that's the point I'm trying to get to in a
Again, this
roundabout
board-
way.
This board hasn't acted on any
I know,
variance as
I
of
just
yet.
wanted it
And I'm
out
sure
there.
you're going to be here, and let me get it right.
Oh, I will.
December
18th.
18th.
18th, I wrote it down.
All
I
right.
even Facebooked it.
We look forward to your appearance again. Who else on this side? Come on up, sir. I know you spoke at the last meeting, but I'm going to ask the board attorney to swear you in as well.
Okay, you need my name and all that first?
Hold
Please
on.
raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Benjamin Spinelli Jr., Spinelli, 3964 Highway 516, Mattawan.
Take it away.
Okay. Tonight I only got really one question. My wife really hit on all the rest of the points that we wanted to bring out together. Regarding the driveway access to 516 on the property, looking at on the right-hand side, is that going to be a right-hand exit only, or is it a right and left exit on 516? As it's shown on the site plan.
Yeah,
Need full turn, full
We
access?
plan to have, there's a couple of answers to it. We
Okay.
plan to have our traffic expert testify at the next hearing. I don't know if Lorelei can tell me whether it's full movement, but beyond all of that, the county's going to tell us what it is. We don't know what it is until the county reviews a site plan application. They don't review use variance applications.
Okay, because the only reason why I'm stating is it's impossible to make a left-hand turn out of that entrance as it's shown on that site plan right there, because 516, if you keep traveling east of that position, it dips down into a ravine basically, and it's completely blind as far as people trying to exit the property at that point, and then also for the oncoming westbound traffic, they would be basically plowing into cars as they're trying to get out of that driveway, because you absolutely cannot see from that point. So if it's something that where the board would want to review that before permitting this to happen, or not allowing a left-hand turn out of that particular driveway.
You know that the one of
Again,
the-
that's I understand the attorney says about the traffic person, but that that would have to be addressed.
Mr. Mitchkovich will testify probably at the next hearing.
Okay.
And as Mr. Clauser said, the decision will really be made by the county if there's an
Okay.
approval, not by the applicant and not by this board.
Right. I just wanted to to state that.
Okay.
And now the last question I had is regarding the right of way. I know there's a lot of fine folks here for this church application tonight, so I don't want to take up any more time. 40 feet is the half width from, now where's that, from the center line of the road, ma'am? Or is that where do you
Yes.
get that size from? So in other words, the building would actually be sitting from the center of the road 40 and a half feet from the center of the road? Is that the way I'm?
It's more than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm asking you. What would be the actual setback from the center line of the highway?
53 or something, wasn't that what was on the record?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't bring the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just,
I believe it was
want a
53
clarification
foot,
on
if I
that.
recall.
There's a dimension on the plans.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, like I said, 'cause I can't see it from here, so that's my
I didn't
question.
bring the plans with me either.
Do you have a plan, a copy of the plan or no?
No, the only reason why I'm asking is because I had to get a variance back in 1995, and I sat before the board, and we had to dedicate 55 feet from the center of the highway, not a easement. We had to actually give it to the county, say, here you go, here's a free gift of 55 feet of our entire length of our property as a condition to get our variance, which, as you know, if they wanted to widen the road and they didn't have it, they would have had to pay me for that 55 feet.
We'll be in the same position.
Yeah, I know. You guys will be in the same position, exactly. So that's the reason why I'm asking is, are they making you give the 55 feet like I had to?
So that the widening that's required, the right-of-ways, on different roads are different.
Okay.
So I don't know what road
Yeah, like
the
I said-
project was on, but
No,
this-
I'm right across the street from you guys. So
I
I'm
think
directly,
council-
I'm on 516.
Council has the plan in front of him. He says,
So it'll be 50 feet to the building, but it'll be, again, the 43 feet to the curb, it looks like.
Yeah, so I had to give him 55 from the center line, so how could you get away with 53 feet? That's
Because
my
the county-
question.
The county will do what the county wants to do.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but I
Sorry.
had to
I'm
do
so
it. That was a
sorry.
condition of my variance, so.
It's the county jurisdiction. County will do what they want to do.
Okay, all right.
Mr.
Good enough.
Tetrell?
All right, I'll see you guys.
Hold on,
at the
Mr.
next meeting.
Spinelli, wait a minute.
If I might, the one thing that could come into play, I don't know when you had to give up this land to the county, they could have in the meantime changed their right-of-way dedication requirements along
Okay.
this road. They might have changed, at one time they might have been looking at a 4-lane divided roadway, and now they're looking
Right,
at
no,
something
I
less.
understand the reasoning
So,
behind it, but I was-
and as the chair said,
We were
th-
basically
once this goes to the county,
forced to give that property to them.
they're going
free
to
and
decide
clear,
what
so.
has to be given, dedicated to them. That'll be a decision by the county when that application goes into them.
Okay, see you guys at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Spinelli. On this side, Ms. Joknowitz?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do, sir.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Nina Joknowitz, 203 West Greystone Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey.
And would you just mind please spelling your last name for our court report?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Jochnowitz. Thank you.
Ms. Joknowitz, go ahead.
So I'm looking at these photographs, and can confirm with me that with this application, they want a driveway on Higgins Road. Is that correct?
A driveway is proposed onto Higgins Road.
Okay. There is no driveway at this time onto Higgins Road for the property, or there hasn't been, right?
I'm assuming not.
And they're proposing, I'm guessing 60-something plus the disabled car parks. How many parking spots?
130.
Okay, so 130 cars may possibly go. What I'm concerned about, and forgive me, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Spinelli, Mr. Spinelli, because you guys have been here.
Ms. Joknowitz,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
It seems like a lot of people would be exiting that road and causing I'm going to use the word mayhem for lack of a better word. I was wondering if, although I hear that the traffic and safety is coming later,
But I was just going to say to you, Mr. Miskovich will be here.
but can I
right?
get this?
December 18th.
Okay, December 18th, I know. December 4th is for the other application, and
I don't
December
know.
18th is for this one. Okay, but I want to put it on the record now. My concern is the egress, leaving, not going, coming in. I'm concerned about going out, that maybe a one-way would be under consideration by this committee. When you, of course, get traffic and safety, of course. I'm sorry I didn't know that until just minutes ago.
Right.
That's first. The second question is, I'm concerned about the amount of light pollution that may come in to the properties behind it, and of course to the Spinellis and other neighbors in that community, with the building being potentially upwards to 3 stories. And I know that, again...
Once again, this is a bifurcated application. There's been no site plan submitted that is going to be fully built out. Would that be the right
I
term?
understand. I'm hearing... I apologize because I was here for
That's
the
okay.
previous application.
That's okay.
But I started to write down questions. And so the other thing is this young lady over here, although you're not as young as like my son, the testimony that the ground was impermeable. But later testimony came in that there was gravel in the parking lot, that the property was covered with gravel, which means that we all know on this board, our town is pretty much, a swamp. What I'm concerned about is whether or not you would consider bringing in either something to address the possibility of flooding the neighbors. I know, again...
Stormwater management would also be done at site, when there was an application for site plan.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm confused. I mean, I'm not, yeah, obviously.
Bifurcated application, all they're doing is asking for a use variance. If they don't get the use, there's no need for
Okay,
the
that's
other.
exactly what I was going to ask you. Thank you.
If there's no use, it's over.
Okay, well then I think you've unfortunately you've covered every question. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a happy holidays again.
Same to you. Who's over on this side now? Come on up, sir. Thank you all for your patience tonight, by the way, those in the audience. Sir, Board Attorney will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Michael Anderson, Anderson, 304 Pewter Court.
Take it away.
So a couple of questions, but the first thing I want to make was a statement was I'm not arguing whether or not that house was historic or not, but I think the thing that people are really upset about is the timing of it. This project was first came to us several months ago. The house was there. And then this is a very controversial project, as you can see. And 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks before this is supposed to get heard, that's when the house gets demolished. So you want to talk about being a good neighbor and doing right by the community. I think that's one of the things that the neighborhood is not happy about. This does not look like something that a good neighbor would do. It kind of looks like they're trying to spite that, hey, 3 weeks before, this is when we're going to knock the house down. So I think that's one of the things that people are upset about. So I just wanted to say that. Did I hear right when you guys were talking about when they're doing the construction that they're going to have to do the streets over, meaning Higgins and Route 516 are going to be redone or reconstructed? Is that what I was hearing?
So part of one of the requests from your professional report was that the entire section of Higgins that fronts on our property be repaved. That's something that the applicant has agreed to or will agree to. The county improvements will be up to the county and what they make us do. There's sidewalks out there. I know there's plans that Ms. Shapiro has worked on and designs, and we've tried to incorporate those and room for those in the future. I do not believe we would be doing any paving on 516. We'd just be giving the county the room to do that.
Regarding any type of construction with the streets, you guys obviously very familiar with happened on Control Road between 516 and Spring Hill Road. There was that massive water project that was supposed to get done. It kept getting delayed and furthering things. I think that's another thing the community is really wondering, if that there's going to be any type of construction. We see these constructions always get delayed. I know you're going to have a traffic person speak at the next meeting, but I don't think any of us are blind to see the traffic that builds up on 516. So if you're talking about doing any type of construction, even if it's Higgins Road, you're talking about some major blockages that are going to happen. And with the schools, the junior high and the high school within like 2 miles apart, that sounds like a recipe for disaster, and it's really going to back things up. And if you recall, the police station is right down the block. So that could actually slow down some major emergency calls. Question I have regarding the stormwater basin. Can I get a little more clarity on exactly what that's going to be? Is there going to be a house or a pump station, or is it just going to be a ditch with sewage water going in?
I think that they have to comply with whatever the state regulation is as far as the drainage. That's prescribed by the state. They can't alter that, and I think this is a minor or a major?
I don't know.
It's a major
I
project.
think it'd be a major, right?
Yes.
So what exactly does that mean?
That means that we have to comply with all of the NJDEP stormwater management regulations in 7:8. And it's also, that's reiterated in Old Bridge's ordinance, I'm sure that in word for word.
So is that,
the new
again, does that mean
green
there's going to be like a pump station there, or is it just going to be just an area where water builds up? Like,
All of that would, if in fact they receive an approval for the use, all that's going to have to come out at site plan. That is very strict, and I'm not understating that, am I?
No, not
Counsel?
at all.
So it's not like they get a lot of choices on what to do. They better do it this way, or they're not going to do it at all. So that's highly regulated by the state,
Yes.
and not by this board.
and another thing I wanted to mention is obviously you see this type of project, you're talking about 130 parking spots, you're talking about 68 apartments. I know Nicole is not here, but I know one of her pet projects was Control Park and Control Farm. Are there still plans to go with the next phase, which is that major park that they're doing? Have you guys considered the future, that in another couple of years, you're going to have this massive apartment complex right across the street from this beautiful park that you guys are hyping up and think it's the greatest thing? I just think that, this kind of defeats the purpose of building this beautiful, great park where people can walk to and get to if you're adding extra traffic. So I just think like people are kind of forgetting about that project as well. And I know that we have talked about other projects on 516, and they've always talked about the, town district, how, it needs to be preserved. This is the way it's supposed to be since 1981. But when it came to knocking down a house, again, I'm not arguing if it was historic, but when it came down to knocking down a house, it was like they really didn't care about that. But when it comes to like a street light, there's like a massive thing like, oh no, it needs to be protected because it's part of the town square. So I just think it's very contradictory when you guys are just dismissing the house. Oh, it wasn't historical. May or may not be true. I'm not going to argue with what he was saying, but it just feels like that went like with no problem. Like, they can do what they want. It's their property, which is true. But again, I think it's just a slap in the face to the community.
Okay. When you say you guys, that has nothing to do with this board?
No, I meant like Old Bridge in general.
All right.
Yep.
As far as planning, outward planning years ahead, I haven't, how can you look back and say, did they think about that? I don't know.
Okay. And then another question. I know the traffic person is supposed to be speaking at the next meeting on December 18th.
Frank Miskovich, yes.
Has there been a traffic plan done yet, or are we waiting for that?
Again, that's the applicant's concerns.
There have been traffic studies done, and there have been reports submitted to municipality, yes.
Okay. Can you reveal when those traffic studies were done?
Well, that would be
A
part
date
of
on that?
Frank's
Yeah,
testimony.
that's part of his presentation.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
that's for the applicant to.
Well, so I was
process.
asking him if he can answer it, but.
Well, he did.
I didn't hear what he said.
He said that the plan has been.
Right, and I said, can you reveal what the dates were?
I don't personally know off the top of my
Yeah,
head
the
right now.
Attorneys don't normally do that.
But that's what, Frank will be able to tell you when he did his studies, and the township has reviewed those studies.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just before we get there, I just have to make an announcement for something that I'm seeing in the public. I want everybody in the public to understand that these are all volunteers and the board professionals have ethical obligations, and making these obscene gestures that I am seeing, I'm going to ask you to stop. If you don't stop, I will call you out personally and we will address it in that course, but this is a quasi-judicial body. This is a public hearing. People are being sworn in. They are providing sworn testimony. So again, I'm going to ask it to stop, and I'm only going to ask it once. I do apologize for interrupting, Mr. Chairman, but I needed to put that on the record.
Thank you, Counselor.
I know you have certain time constraints. I know that I wanted to get the public, it's not that I get to do it or I have any control over it, but I certainly wanted to make time available on this application for the public to be heard tonight. We are returning. We do have another application on the agenda tonight. So I just bring that to your attention, Mr.
I
Chair.
do have some time left on the clock. I'm going to entertain as many as I can during that period.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. On this side of the room? Anybody else? Come on up, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Teresa Marte, M-A-R-T-E. I live at 25 Mark Drive, Matawan. I am just, again, like Ms. Spinelli said, don't have any formal education about engineering and all the roads and studies and all that other stuff. But I am looking at a structure, a building that was already put on Route 516, adjacent to the Spinelli land, that has stores on the bottom, residences on the top. If you have looked at that property, many of the businesses on the bottom level have been, at different points, remained empty. It is not a location that is advantageous for businesses to set up there because of traffic flow problems. Also, if it is going to be an apartment, I do not think that putting apartments on a county road that is extremely busy and unsafe because of the width, the traffic flow, is irresponsible. It's irresponsible for the landowner to think that it's okay to put that many people in a situation that is not safe. Also, the deed for the property lines, I see that it exceeded into the road. But do they not forfeit that property because it is now the road? They do not close the road for their own private use, so now the road becomes public domain. It is no longer theirs. So it should not be configured or used as any part of their plans because their property now is less.
I don't understand that real estate question, and I don't know how to answer it.
Okay. I'm just saying, the property lines they are saying are in the road.
We're going to give that property back to the township.
Well, it doesn't matter because the township already has assumed that property because the landowner never closed the road for their own private use to maintain ownership of that property.
I don't want to get into an academic discussion about adverse possession.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
It's
So-
it's a dedication that'll be made back to the town. Those lines will be corrected.
So you're going to push back the property lines and reconfigure this property then, according to really what is your property?
Yes, ma'am. That's what's shown on that exhibit up there.
No, that shows where the property lines were designated.
See
That
the
does not
interior
make that
pink
your
line?
property
See
any
the-
longer.
Do you see the interior pink line? That shows the new proposed property lines, donating land back to the municipality.
You're not donating it, sir.
Very well.
Does the township not own that property and the road?
It does
That was
not.
asked and answered.
Okay.
But again, it's a use variance, it's bifurcated, they're not here for site plan.
Okay, again, the safety issues of putting people on that first floor, totally irresponsible. If you go with the plan of where it has to have businesses on the bottom floor, again, that needs to be revisited, because if you do look at the history of businesses and that site plan similar, it really never vied out. The owner, from what I understand, has taken up 3/4 of the storefront for a daycare. So I just don't think we have the people interested in this town or pulling in from other towns to fill empty retail space that we have abundantly available throughout the township. That's all.
Thank you, Ms.
you.
Sparta. Anybody else on this side? Last call. Go ahead, man. Run up. Board Attorney will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Shanae M. Caruana, Caruana.
Did you say N as in Nancy or M as in Mary?
N as in Nancy.
Thank you.
So I just want to thank all the previous speakers who have come up and voiced their concerns about this project. There's not too much to say right now because if there's going to be another hearing, we will definitely come back for that. The rest of the neighbors on Higgins Road could not come here for previous engagements, but they are definitely interested and concerned about this project. So first things first, we did receive a notice. Some of us received a notice, but in that notice, it was exactly the same as the original notice. So any of these changes or proposed new variances were not represented in the letter that we received. Second, nobody in the neighborhood received any notice about the demolition of the historical, non-historical property, like Mrs. Spinelli said, and like other neighbors said. We're not discussing the historic or non-historic value of that property, as I am the owner of a historic property on Higgins Road. I live in the Higgins house on Higgins Road, and that you will see is in your registry. Okay, so there is a lot of concern. Why weren't we informed? Mr. Clauser says that we were informed about the demolition. We received no notice about that demolition. Sure, it's private property. They can do what they want to that property. But it's very curious that they spent money renovating that property after they shut down the greenhouse. They rented it out as Airbnbs for several months, and then all of a sudden, we see that their ground was uplifted, maybe a water pipe broke or something, and there were construction going on, and then a week later, we see all the windows were boarded, and then one morning when I was going to work, I saw the big crane, and I said to myself, watch what they're going to do. And sure enough, I didn't need a magic crystal ball. I came back and the house was demolished. So we would like to know, I think, as a good neighbor, like Mr. Anderson said, what really was going on. And why would you choose to demolish the house before demolishing all those other derelict buildings on that property, the greenhouses and everything else that obviously were not going to stay there? Then, okay, so those are just comments and considerations about what's happening with this building. What Mrs. Martha just said is absolutely true. How can you have residential property on a county road? Who is going to be living in that first floor apartment? Would you be living in there? Would you want your sons and daughters living in that property? I'm not even going to talk about the absolute craziness of having an exit on Higgins Road. Higgins Road cannot handle the traffic we get from the soccer fields that were recently built. And now you're going to add property to Higgins Road? And where are you going to widen Higgins Road? Are you going to claim eminent domain to the house that's right there in front of that property? How are you going to widen Higgins Road? And will the county put a stoplight there? Because you can hardly get out of Higgins Road now. And now you're going to add this property there? I understand, it's your business, it's your property. You spent years running it as a greenhouse. You want to make money. Everybody wants to make money, right? This is America. But can we not scale it down at least? Can we not reconsider some kind of new vision? Get your architects on board and come up with something creative that's not going to ruin the footprint, like another neighbor said. This is not Newark, unless we want to make it into Newark, okay? Can we not do that? And still the owner will get his money and get his profit? And the neighbors that have lived there and that continue to live there will have a peaceful environment, and the people who are going to come into that new situation will also have a peaceful environment to live in? I mean, why aren't these things being taken into consideration? And why is the township so anxious to be so helpful to a business owner that wants to completely change the footprint of the township with a 3-story building on the corner of a county road and a small residential road? It's just unbelievable, unbelievable. So we're here, like you said, Mr. Chairman, for the bifurcated ordinance, no, there absolutely should not be businesses on the first floor, like Miss Martha said, and there should not be residences on the first floor because it's way too close to the county road. Come up with another plan. Sit down with your architects, your engineers, and use your brains and come up with another plan. And then come back and propose something that really is going to benefit the community and benefit everybody. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Corona. All right, I have another application to deal with tonight, and I think I've gotten to just about everybody that want to speak. You the last one? Go ahead, come on. Not a problem. All right. Just tilt that down a little, ma'am. Oops. There you go.
How's that?
Take it away.
When you're ready, ma'am.
Look like you're familiar. Were you an
Yes, I
entertainer?
swear.
Were you a singer?
Yes.
Okay. Board attorney will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
My name is Patricia Schuck, SCHUCK. I live at 149 Higgins Road. You've had a lot of people say a lot of things, and they say it much better than I do. I think Mrs. Spinelli said it the best. And I would like Higgins Road to continue to be a small road. And the traffic now is unbelievable. And we have to give our hearts and thoughts and minds to exactly what this is going to do to our community. I've lived in Old Bridge since 1959. And I wish you would consider what my feelings are about this town. I belong to the Madison Township Historical Society. I belong to the Cheesequake Ladies Auxiliary. I belong to the Mid-Madison Women's Club. I've been a 4-H leader. I think I've done a lot and gained a lot from this town. I appreciate everything it's given me. So please consider how much this town will benefit or not benefit by putting this type of construction in our area at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schuck. We note your comments and we thank you for all the community service you provided to this township. All right, now I'm going to close the public portion for this evening. We have a date already. Any final comments, Counselor?
I do, just to point out a couple of things that, the location of apartments, we can talk about first floor, third floor, that's fine. In this area was deemed appropriate by your council. So that's not something we decided, it's what our property is zoned for. The location of the building, close to 516, was also determined by your council. We are supposed to be close to the roadway. That's the design standards. So I just want that to be clear. Those are the laws. I understand there's feelings behind me, but those are the rules, and that's why they are here. And then lastly, I take note of some of the comments of the public of vacant commercial spaces. I think that's a significant portion of the applicant's argument. And it's been pointed out by the public that they don't need it, more commercial here. So I just wanted to point that out. We didn't invent the residences to be here. We didn't invent apartments to be here. We didn't invent their location. That was all done by your governing body. We're following those rules, but we're asking for relief regarding the first floor. And that's it, Mr. Chair. I would ask if you could make an announcement that we're carried and see what we can start on the next one.
I will. Thank you, and Ms. Totten, for your testimony this evening and your appearance. This is matter 27-2023Z Vision Old Bridge LLC, 3963 County Road 516. This matter will be continued December 18th. No further notice. Please mark it down on your calendars, and as I've told people all night, check the township's website, Board of Adjustment, Zoning Board of Adjustment. You can find our agenda prior to the meeting. Thank you all. I do have another, those that want to leave now, That's fine. I do have another application to attend to tonight. Thank you, Counselor.
Yeah, let me just switch over my papers. Yes.
Do you really?
She wants to go home. I mean, I would like to too. Well, she's got to go to work.
Oh, shoot, Dolores is in the ladies' room.
I'm going to start anyway. We have one person in the ladies' room they'll pick up, but let me read this in, and
Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Gomez will appear back on the dais. Yeah. Last page here.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, Mr. Testaverde has left.
Okay. We'll have a roll call taken. 33-2024Z, Community Bible Fellowship Church. This is TCD R40 zones, Block 14263, Lot 9 and 12, or I guess that's 9.12, I'm sorry. 442 Cottrell Road is the physical address. It's for a house of worship, major preliminary and final site plan with C&D variance. Applicant proposes to demolish the existing structures on the property, construct a house of worship. Peter Clauser, Esquire, representing the applicant. Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be brief here this evening. I have a presentation for.
I'm sorry, you know what I need to do? Could I have a quick roll call, please? We did go off the record.
Ms.
You're right.
Andrews?
Ms. Andrews?
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzo? Here. Mr. Scogno?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde is now left the dais. Ms. Gomez?
Here.
And Chairman Sullivan.
Here. Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt, Council.
Thank you again. I do have a new transcript. So for the record, Peter Clauser with the firm Heilbron Pape on behalf of your applicant, the Community Bible Fellowship Church. I've had the pleasure of working with the church for many, many years and trying to design this property. And I actually believe that I secured approvals for a prior church on this property that never came to fruition. I'm very confident this one is going to, knowing the motivated people that I've been working with. So we have the proposed church, as you had described, Mr. Chair. The significant variance relief is for a large structure on top of the church to house a cross. And we'll talk more about that as we get into the architecture. But otherwise, churches are permitted in the zone. I have Richard Tisdale as a representative of the church. He's an elder. Bob Key is our engineer. Gary Siegel is the architect. Frank Miskovich is the traffic, and Allison is the planner. I just want to introduce you to Richard tonight. Ask the board to take jurisdiction of the application. To have Richard tell you a little bit about the church, when they have their services. Just get it started, and then I'll get a transcript to the board, and you'll tell me when I'm coming back.
We would love that. Sir, are we taking jurisdiction?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, we can accept jurisdiction of the application. I will swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Richard Tisdale, Tisdale.
Back to you, counsel.
Thank you. Richard, just share with the board your role in the church and your role in this project.
Yes, I'm an elder of Community Bible Fellowship. My role is finance and operations, as well as and the role of elder from a ministry perspective. That's what I do today. I'm responsible for this project, the delivery thereof, and I've been I take the lead on that in representation for the church itself.
And you've been my point man as we go through this project, giving me my direction as I am to present this application. Where is the church operating right now?
We're right now on 268 Cliffwood Avenue. It's in a light industrial, 10,000 square feet of building. We've been there for almost 30 years.
And it is the strong desire of this congregation to have a place to call their own.
Absolutely.
So let's just tell the board a little bit about how the church operates. Tell us when your services are, how many members you have, things of that nature. I'll help you fill in the blanks.
Okay, yes. We currently today have Sunday morning services is from 9:30 to 12. We have Sunday school as well. So that's once, every Sunday. And that is the time frame.
And the Sunday school coincides with Mass.
It does. Sunday school is prior to the actual church service, so it starts from 9:30 to 10, and then 9:30 to 10:30, and then church service from 10:30 to 12.
Thank you. How many members do we have in the church right now?
We have 80 active members that attend the church.
And then you designed this church with your professionals, your architect, your engineer, with the hopes of growing the church progressively over many years.
Absolutely.
Okay. How many people go to Mass? You have 80 members. What's a percentage of people that usually show up?
On average, about 60 to 65 show up per Sunday.
We have a few other activities. Tell us what goes on Thursday night at a prayer service.
Currently, prayer service is it's being virtual since COVID, but it was initially in-house on Thursday night, an hour of service. And that would, but at this current time, it is virtual, and we hope to grow that as well and physically bring it back in-house to be a part of the, so ultimately our plan is to could maybe come back into come back in and have the service held in the building.
That would be nice. We could get back face to face. The church will be available for sacraments for your members and members only, correct?
Yes, we do offer service to our members, like weddings and funerals. So that's the current policy and understanding that we have for the church. It is based on, it's based on, that's basically what we do. We have receptions as well, occasionally with these types of services, wedding and funeral, but that would coincide with those particular types of services.
So there is a prayer hall and then there's a fellowship hall.
That is correct.
And we'll learn more about that as we go through the architectural plans and things of that nature. But they don't operate at the same time.
No, they do not.
Okay.
The participants from the service would be also the participant for the reception.
And you have an active membership, so if you have a wedding or a funeral or something like that, you have volunteers that help with on-site direction and parking and things of that nature.
Yes, we do have staff that currently is in that capacity.
And you have a Bible school. During the summer, there's a week-long Bible school.
That is correct. It is in the afternoon for 3 hours on for a week, where the community and membership comes for Vacation Bible School.
And you have, this sounds like an interesting event that you might have to invite me to. There's a gospel concert on New Year's Eve that you anticipate you would have at the church.
Yeah, we do annually have a gospel concert, and we do occasionally have services on New Year's Eve.
Okay. That was the introduction I wanted to bring to the board. I always struggle with whether I get an engineer up first or I get an operations up first, but I enjoyed hearing from Richard how well the church functioned and how close-knit they are, and I thought he'd be the best way to start by presenting this application.
Actually,
to
it
you.
was perfect.
Yeah.
It was. But Mr. Tisdale, can you just please give me the summer school hours again?
It is
And the days?
It's normally 5 days. It is 5 days a week, 5 weekdays during the week, and it's normally from we start around 4, between 6 and 7. 4. Excuse me. Let me get it correct. It's
So 6 a.m. to
no,
7?
we normally, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I'm accurate.
You're a little more nervous than I expected.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
It's like-
You did so good when we were preparing.
Yeah, it occurs that we start at 4 o'clock and it goes to 7 on the
4
night.
to 7 in the
In
afternoon?
the
In
afternoon?
the
Yeah,
afternoon,
okay.
yes, it's not during the day, it's not a full
And
church.
my notes are, it's only 1 week during the summer, correct?
That is correct.
And it's about 50 people in total, kids and staff?
On average, yes.
How about, you mentioned the Thursday night prayer service. How many hours is that?
It's normally an hour.
It's an hour. And you're going to try and bring that back. Right now, you're
We,
doing it
we,
virtually.
we would love to have it back to a face-to-face.
Great representation of the church and what goes on.
I thought so too.
Thank you.
So I have no further questions for Richard. I know it's late. If anybody else has any other questions, he's going to be here every night that we do this. So
I thought as much, and I appreciate, I know that you have several witnesses you're going to put on to prosecute the case, and we just don't have time to start one tonight, so I think that was a good idea. I'm glad that the elder is going to be here. We can reference probably some things that you may not know and we want to know, or
Sure.
some of the congregants.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to ask another question because I'm trying to get as much in. So as of right now, how many funerals and weddings?
Well, it's a small membership. We
Right. I mean, like,
maybe
like
2, 3, and 2 to 3, maybe a year.
Okay. Yeah. This is just good for me to have there. Thanks.
that's a good question.
Anybody else have any questions for the elder? No. No, and the professionals? No? Thank you again, sir, for appearing, and I want to thank everybody here tonight that stuck around. I know it gets a little boring, and it's lengthy at times, but we do appreciate you coming. We'll appreciate listening to your comments, too, when we get to public portion. Because I opened this, I think I have to open a public portion, correct? but I probably don't think anybody's going to, but I will have to open a public portion. See, we
If you
did
remember
start
the
the
church,
testimony.
don't get up. Correct.
So this is 33 2024Z. It's the Community Bible Fellowship Church for a house of worship, 442 Cottrell Road. We did open this matter, and I have a responsibility by law in order to open a public portion. So if there's anyone who wants to comment, I'm going to have to limit it because we're reaching the pumpkin hour of 10:30, which we all have to get out of here because they turn the lights off on us. Anyone want to say anything at this point? You can reserve it. You can talk tonight. I see none. We invite you all back. We'll invite you all back for our next scheduled meeting. And when is that going to be? Yes, Ms. Jochowitz, I already closed it.
All I was going to say is that the lady sitting next to me, who doesn't want to speak, flew up from Florida for this meeting.
Well, thank you very much.
And this is my church.
Well, that's true dedication. I'm happy to hear that.
I wanted the board to know this because obviously I know the meeting's over, I get that. But it's that important to her that she flew up for this meeting.
And we truly appreciate that as well as all the others. I am on a deadline, and I appreciate that, ma'am. Please come back. I'm sure you will. All right, let's
our
have a
date?
date.
December 18th.
18 again? December 18th. All right. For those here in the courtroom and those that may be watching, December 18th will be the new date for this. Once again, 33-2024Z, Community Bible Church. This matter will be continued December 18th. No further notice. Thank you, Mr. Clauser.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Tisdale.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to the court stenographer, too. You went right through. Her fingers are fine. She won't be able to stand up, though. I don't think we have any other matters to come before the board this evening. Ms. Sawant, anything? Before I call for an adjournment, anything you have for the board? No, Counselor, thank you again for being here. We're sorry for your loss from the firm. We look forward to your counsel. Someone move for an adjournment, please.
Chevalier, move it.
All in favor? Any opposed? We stand adjourned.
All right, Leon, I appreciate you taking those in.